What's up, guys? Welcome back to AVGL. We're going to have, hopefully, two sets today. So we're going to have a lot of collegiate Dota. We got UW Madison versus UMass Amherst. UW versus UM. It's going to be really easy to keep in line. It got some serious flags up here, but you know what? That's fine. It's all good, guys. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Jenkins for this best of three and for the best of three after this as well. Dude, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. We just had International Women's Day. I enjoyed that. How did your Women's Day go?
I did about the usual stuff that I normally do.
I
That is how
I
I celebrate
tweeted
women.
I tweeted about loving my mom and girlfriend,
That's
but
nice.
I already did that though before is the thing.
Dude, there's some really messed up stuff with some people like really angry about some tweets that esports female community members have said. There's a lot of drama over there. I didn't expect that such a weird-ish day would like draw so much animosity.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard about any of that.
you mean with
With
So?
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. You know, my girlfriend said to me, she's like, I don't need a day. Like, I don't know why I have a day, and it's like, well, cause you're a woman, I guess.
Could have scored some serious points by just going like, yeah, you have every day. You're my number one every day.
I could have,
Boom,
dude.
points.
Dude, I already have all the points in the world, man. I don't need any
Oh.
more points. I'm not being greedy. The
You
score's
know,
like 40-1 right now, dude.
these guys need points though. These guys are both two wins, one loss. So now's the time to see what they can do to get that 3-1 and see if they can push themselves up to the top. Yeah, I think the other games in those brackets are also being played. So who knows what's gonna happen in those other matches. But right now we got a Brewmaster, we got a Clockwork picked up for Madison. And a quick look at the bans. Dark Willow going to get a little bit of respect. We've been seeing a little bit more Beastmaster. What are your thoughts overall on that hero? I know you know a little bit of the offlane.
I think Beastmaster. I mean, I think that's a strong hero with the axe build. You max the axes. You just chuck them at the supports and the carry in the lane. Push the lane out. You can do side pulls because of that, and then the supports and the carry are constantly gonna be sitting at 70% HP with the axe stacks on you. I mean, I think it's really good. I think that it's versatile because you can go for the meteor hammer build. You can go for the kind of zoo build with the necro book. You can go for the axes build, or you can go for the zoo skill build. Depending on the lane. I just think the hero is very versatile, and for that reason, you can kind of pick in whatever scenario in the off lane. You're gonna be pretty. You'll be pretty happy to have a Beastmaster on your team. Also, one of the few heroes who still has one of those movement speed talents, which people are kind of realizing that they're very overpowered. You go for drums, maybe tranquil boots, something like that. Even without going for drums, you're still very quick. So yeah, I think the hero's it's in a really good spot for offlaners right now. Deals with a lot of the carries pretty well as well.
Well, it's not going to be seen here. So perhaps in the second game, maybe even the third game, you never know. Brewmaster certainly not any slouch in the offlane either. And to get those Shadow Shaman,
Yeah.
I feel like these two heroes, like you pick them up, you get like a Shadow Fiend or a Terror Blade or something like that, and then your draft just kind of plays itself. Like as long as you have some form of initiation,
Yeah.
you could do like the set up in Siege, rinse and repeat forever type of game plan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually completely inclined to agree. I also think I think that these kind of glass cannon heroes function really nicely with the Shadow Shaman and Brewmaster, because the Brewmaster and Shadow Shaman, they kind of cover a lot of the bases that you would want in a team fight. The Brewmaster obviously providing an immense amount of team fight control and just causing total chaos, stopping the enemy team from doing exactly what they want in a team fight. Shadow Shaman with a huge amount of disable, and then of course, like you were saying, yeah, both of these heroes have really good sieging already. With the Brew with the Earth Panda gets the demolish damage, the Shadow Shaman with the Serpent Wards. You take a fight, you drop the wards, you have the Brew Pandas kind of going crazy. Everything's so chaotic. You take a tower while the enemy team isn't able to really pay attention in the fight because there's so much going on. And then if you throw a TB into the mix, I mean, the damage is immense, not only for taking towers, but for actually team fighting as well. All that disable, allowing a TB or a Death Prophet, one of these kind of glass cannon heroes, to really do a lot of damage. And you have a lot of cover for them too in the way of disables and just causing total chaos in the fight. So yeah, I really like heroes like that. Shadow Fiend would also be a great hero. Unfortunately, they banned it out themselves. Odie, another one of these glass cannon heroes, Not so much in terms of the tower pushing, but great in terms of the team fighting. You have all of this disable, all of this chaos, where OD can just hit until he has so much damage, you know? And Skywrath Mage coming out, that's an interesting hero. It's really good with Clockwork, really good with the Gyrocopter rocket, because you can drop the ulti right on either of those, kind of the cogs of the rocket. Oh, there's a Death
Skywrath,
Prophet. Nice. Sweet. I'm glad I said that.
there's some push right there. Together with the Shadow Shaman Serpent Wars, you have two really powerful tools at taking really any objective, Roshan or towers, or a team fight. You know,
Oh, yeah,
it's all
true
good
that.
here for UMass. As long as they watch their cooldowns, it's the only thing that really can kill them. Use too much in a fight that goes south, and then you're just completely screwed. But
Right.
Skywrath Mage is certainly an interesting one. Super premium against Brewmaster, Shadow Shaman. Like, this hero
Even
is
Death
really
Prophet.
good. Yeah, even Death Prophet. Really good up against these heroes. Really good with the gyro. Really good with the clockwork. But I think overall is a pretty shit hero in general. So it's like, do the matchups work out well enough so that this hero, who is just the softest of soft heroes, can he actually do anything?
You know, I think he in this game for sure. I think the hero's probably not at a point where it's, you know, this like underrated hero that should get picked more. I don't necessarily think it's underrated. I think I'm inclined to agree. It's not the greatest right now, but against a lineup like this, where like you're saying, they have all of these cooldowns. Well, you can take fights around the cooldowns when they're you know, when they don't have their spells. You can do that. That's one way to fight this sort of lineup, which Skywrath Mage is good at doing because he's kind of a persistent fighter. Doesn't really have any cooldowns. Neither does Gyrocopter. Really, you know, when you compare it to the Shadow Shaman Brute Death Prophet. But also, if they get the initiation with the Clock Hook, with the Gyro ulti, with the Skywrath Mage silence, and they can blow up a Brewer or DP before the fight actually starts, then they could actually take a fight, even with those cooldowns. So I do think that in this game, Skywrath Mage is actually a pretty nice pickup against these heroes. But Tusk is a really excellent save hero versus the Skywrath Mage. You silence, you use the, you know, you drop the ulti on Skywrath Mage, all of a sudden Tusk snowballs whatever hero it is, the Death Prophet gets the ulti off, the Shadow Shaman gets the wards off, the Brew gets the split off, and your initiation is botched. You know, so depending on the Tusk's positioning in this game, he can kind of stop the initiation potential from UW Madison. So yeah, I mean, this game could definitely go both ways given these drafts. I think that it's probably easier to execute the UMass lineup as things stand right now. I mean, obviously, barring like some total annihilation of laning phase, and all analysis really goes out the window because that's how Dota is. But I think that if UW Madison gets the initiation, they're going to win. If UMass either counters that initiation with the Tusk or they get their spells off, they're going to very easily win the fights because Shadow Brew and Death Prophet, these are just insane team fighters.
We've seen Death Prophets get to a point where they're just like pretty much unkillable. And with Skywrath Mage and that amplification, you always have a pretty good shot of you know, just blasting her to oblivion. But now we have that Terrorblade that we were talking about earlier for UMass, so they have both the Terrorblade and the Death Prophet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, now they're really stacked up in the push department. And for UW Madison, the Skywrath Mage is an absolute huge threat as far as the damage is concerned for the Terrorblade. That is for sure something he has to worry about. But overall, this Gyrocopter up against, you know, super high armor hero of Terrorblade, this really bulky hero like Death Prophet, like it might just come to a point where even if UMass fail to push as much as they would really like, they could just kind of out late game this Madison draft, because DK, I love the hero, but only in a really aggressive context. Like if you had DK on the UMass side, I'd be just, you know, 100% on him. But in this scenario, I don't really know. It seems like his Dragon Tail initiation is pretty valuable, but you already have a Clockwork and a Skywrath Mage. Like, do you really need just a tanky dude just to sit there?
Yeah, you know, I guess they need a tower seizure just so that if they do win these fights, if they do happen to get the initiation and it works out, then they're gonna need somebody to be able to take towers. You know, Gyro really isn't the best at that until he gets some items online. But I think it's a tad redundant in terms of the. I mean, the thing is in Dota, you can never be upset that you have too much lockdown. You know, there's a lot of heroes to lock down on this enemy team, so I think it's probably fine. And hey, there's another pusher actually. You know, Dragon Knight Pugna, great pushers. If they can win these fights, they're going to be feeling pretty good. Although I would be concerned about the BKB coming out from UMass because I mean UW Madison is basically 100% magical damage, and only in like the hyper late game are they going to do physical damage, but they're doing physical damage against a Terrorblade. You know, Terrorblade doesn't really care against a Brute. Brute doesn't care. He's got the primal split. Death Prophet typically builds into Solar Crest, builds into very tanky items. The physical damage, I think it's not really going to scale to the point where I think after UMass get BKBs, it's going to be really, really rough for UW Madison. Although the thing is, you know, you're still forcing out BKBs. You know, these heroes don't necessarily like to get BKBs on the Death Prophet, Terrorblade. These are kind of like third item BKB heroes. So they do have a big window. This game could really go either way. But I'm definitely concerned for the, you know, when the BKBs come out, it's going to be super, super hard to fight into this UMass team.
I'm liking UMass's draft a lot for pretty much every reason that we mentioned. I think the best shot here for Madison is just looking at these lanes. Like, Terrorblade is a very powerful hero sometimes in the lane. Gyrocopter with the Rocket Barrage, like, up against someone like Terrorblade, or Pugna with the early blast harassment up against a hero that really can't take it like a TB. You know, of course, depending on where the lanes actually end up, but, you know, you have this possibility that UW, for Madison, where this Clockwork is just running all over the place. Brewmaster is someone who can definitely gank as a Clockwork, as is the Death Prophet. Like, this isn't Clockwork going into a Puck or a Quap. Heroes that could just say, screw you, Clockwork, I'm out of here. So they actually do have a pretty good shot in the early stages. I think that's really where Madison have to win. They have to win early on, or else they're going to be under siege for the majority of this game.
Yeah, I think I think a lot is going to be riding on this Clock, like you said. He has a lot of potential to kill every one of these enemy cores actually in the laning phase. And one thing that we've seen in a lot of these games, I mean, not only in the university games, but in Bucharest, we've seen, you know, the laning phase go so south for one team that it doesn't even matter what their draft is. You know, the laning phase was so one that it's just this snowball. They have map control. They take all the farm on the map. They take Roshan and they take high ground. You know, so yeah, I think there is a lot of potential in this Clockwork. You're absolutely right. Now that you point that out, I mean, TB against Clock, it's just so easy to kill the TB. He's got such low HP. It just takes tons of magical damage, right? He's just good against physical damage. DP, one of the few heroes that can die to Clockwork. In fact, Clock, if he gets a Blade Mail, hard counter to DP. And Brew feeds Clockwork if he's not level 6, you know? Clock doesn't care about his physical resistance. It looks like TB actually is going to get gone on here.
He's on the high ground.
He's
That's
dead.
not going to save him. The slow from the battery assault, the blast coming out from both the rockets and the Skyriff Mage. They put him in a cage. It's going to give him a little bit of distance, but Breathe Fire right over the ice. And that's going to get a kill on that Terrorblade. So nice little rotation, and definitely the type of start that Wisconsin really need in this type of game. Just a little bit of momentum. At First Blood, especially nowadays, isn't really like, oh, you know, we win the game and everything like that. But securing up 2 bounty runes, probably a 2-2 split here, and a First Blood on a Terrorblade, that's definitely not bad, especially if this Clockwork can get towards a little bit extra movement speed, or if this DK can get a little bit of extra sustain up early on, get some mana regeneration.
Oh yeah, that is definitely good for DK to get that kill if he can get up that Soul Ring. Although I'm so torn on buying this Soul Ring, and I mean it's obviously it's still good on DK. I'm sure he's still gonna get a Soul Ring, you know, especially because he's a hero who can actually. Well, this Pugna's getting really zoned out on the bottom lane. Clock harassing a little bit. Nothing really happening. Anyway, with the Soul Ring, I mean, it's just been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. And obviously, he's going to get it. He actually has the HP to sustain it, but... I'm as an off-laner, it's a lot of the time I just kill myself with the Soul Ring now. It feels bad, man.
Maybe mid laners only. When you get the gold, when you get the experience, you can actually afford it. They're going to shackle the Pugna on the bottom lane. Here comes the Demon Terrorblade looking for some revenge. And with the body blocks from this Tusk, it looks like they have the Pugna in the bag. A lot to talk about how Terrorblade is, you know, high armor, low HP, but you know what? Pugna's not exactly bulky either. The only reason he's at all survivable is because he has this broken 335 movement speed. But in the shards, when you're shackled, it's like, you know, nice movement speed, bro.
He's a fast boy, isn't he?
He is very fast boy.
Doesn't really matter if you're disabled. Doesn't really matter if you're getting body blocked. Oh, this Bruce trying so hard to cut the wave top, but Chem is not allowing it.
You've seen a couple of these guys in your pubs, right? You had a little discussion in lobby chat.
Okay. They were kind of low-rated pubs, but these guys are like I'm pretty sure at least a few of them are top rank 1,000 or something like that, which is good. Like players that are in any player that has a rank is going to be, is a solid player. But yeah, it was a rough game last night, to say the least.
Well, you know what? It's at least you've seen them around, right? With these collegiate teams, it's always a chance that you just have no idea
Yeah,
because
no, on both
sometimes they
teams,
just don't show up.
both of these teams actually have objectively good players. So this isn't some some game with just kids that are playing Dota on the side. These are good Dota players for sure.
Well, you heard it from Jenkins, guys. This game is guaranteed to not be a stomp.
Hey, I didn't say
100%.
that.
And if it is, then you can complain to him
Oh
because
God,
that's
dude,
what he
come
said.
on, man. Put words in my mouth.
We do have DK looking with this clockwork for perhaps this death prophet, but a level 1 clockwork is really sad times roaming. At least you need those power cogs. So I'm not really sure where this clockwork is going to end up. Not much action for him up towards top lane, and bottom lane he's not really able to keep this Pugna safe. So clockwork seems like, even though he has all this potential we were talking about earlier, he's not going to do all that much. Speaking of not doing all that much, ooh, DeCarnage is once again in a little bit of trouble. Shard's blocking the way. Is he completely trapped? If they just held position there, I think he might have been completely trapped, but either way, he's dead. So that's another kill here for UMass, and Terrorblade is he's getting some serious farm, as is the Gyrocopter, as is the DK, but this Terrorblade looking for those timings from UMass is perhaps a little bit more dangerous than Gyro getting farm.
I've been in this position before as an offlaner, as this Pugna. I mean, and the Brew actually. Well, maybe not so much the Brew, but the Pugna is in this situation where the mid laner is a DK versus his DP. The DK is crushing. The DK is level 4. He's got his armor up. Tusk really doesn't want to go to the middle lane. Like basically the only lane to go to right now is the Pugna's lane. But the Pugna's not a hero who's a jungler, right? Like you can't go jungle, you can't go gank, you can't do anything. You can just lane. So he's in this scenario where it's like he has to sit in this lane, but he's gonna be constantly against 3 heroes. So he has to play so defensively, like in order to not die here. Lucky for him, he's getting a nice double wave in the tower. I think if the enemy team perfectly controlled the lane, he'd be level 1, he'd be getting nothing, he'd just be feeding right now. But lucky for him, actually, he's getting gone on in the tower, so
Shard's gonna shove him over towards the Shadow Shaman. I mean, yeah, life is tough, and they're actually gonna catch this Brewmaster up towards top lane as well. Battery Assault slow, he's gonna try to look for the neutral deny. I don't know if that's gonna happen. No, Twice is gonna sneak it in. Clockwork will grab the kill, and over in the mid lane now, DK is gonna get siphoned. Double damage on DP, but not quite enough in that right click, so will be a 1-for-1. But man, this Pugna, like, this survivability, again, all in the movement speed, and he was literally on the tower. Like, you cannot get more defensive than that. Still just straight dive, straight kill. Life is tough here for this Pugna, and I mean, he is level 4 at least. This is a situation where Pugna, even though he's having, DK in a little bit of trouble in the mid lane, actually, they do shard block him and keep him drained with those siphons. They get a little bit of advantage there for the DP. Nice pick for UMass.
Yeah, that's a huge pick. He's top of CS right now. That's huge.
Yeah. 5 also, Tusk getting all that experience.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Tusk doing a hell of a lot, dude. 0-0-4 out of the 4 kills in the team. That's not bad.
Yeah, this is kind of the ideal Tusk game. I mean, the thing is, Brew's getting really dope top. Gyro is level 6. Was Tusk gonna...
Well, he's gonna shard block
solo
him.
kill him?
I think he will.
Oh
Twice
my
can't
God.
help him. So, great kill for the Gyrocopter on that Brew until that Tusk comes in.
Oh yeah, that's
Giving
definitely
up
not
that
worth
kill
it.
is not worth at all.
No, I mean, and also that was on a. I understand wanting to dive on a siege wave so you can push the tower afterwards, but dying, they just lost their tier 1 tower siege, and the good thing though is that on the bottom lane the Radiant also lost their siege creep as well to this Pugna. So, actually the siege creep it got pulled. So no tier 1 tower sieges are going to happen right now, which is very fortunate for these offlaners because they're already having a really rough game. So they're not going to have to deal with that siege and potentially dying one more time to try to defend the tower. But I don't know about being so aggressive on this Gyro, man.
They're trying. Rocket Barrage with creep supports. They're going to get hit with 1 call down missile. Twice is going to sneak in with the cogs, and the snowball will go towards the clockwork. Not going to bring him out or anything like that. We'll get still bumped back. Mumbo, maybe that's a little bit too far, dude. That's just a little bit too far, so they will back off. They won't get the kill on this Brewmaster. They will, use quite a bit of mana there, but at the end of the day, this is also still a kind of a forced move where Pugna now level 5 doesn't have to worry about the Tusk. I think they might be able to still kill him with just Shadow Shaman, and if they get a perfect angle like this, with a Sunder on top of that, he looks pretty dead. But you know what? He actually has a chance. Oh, maybe now with the Decrep TP out, he's alive. A Tusk would have ensured that wouldn't have happened. So pulling out that Tusk means that Pugna actually has a lane now.
Okay, yeah, that's honestly the issue. This happens a lot in my pubs that I see. Actually, DK getting gone on the middle lane. He's very tanky though.
Python doesn't really care. Oh, that's not the cogs we're looking for? They were the cogs we're looking for. It's fine. All planned and calculated.
What was I saying again? Oh, right. Okay. If you rotate as your 4-roll to the complete opposite lane of where you want to be, it just frees up way too much space on the map. I cannot count the amount of times where there's a 4-roll TPing to my lane and I'm about to die and I have to say, no, don't TP, cancel TP, cancel TP,
now
cancel
onto the TB. He's gonna maybe need a TP.
He's fine.
Pugna has 385 movement speed, man. You can't just outrun this. Blast.
Ooh, he's not fine.
Got him with the bolt.
Well, there's
where's your armor now?
So this is, oh god, this is kind of a scenario where the Tusk kind of ruined his own game by, I mean, that's not okay. I can't say he ruined his own game. He got the gyro kill, but that's the unfortunate side effect of TPing to that lane is that this Pugna is now a problem when you know the Pugna himself was a problem for his team. You know, he was just sitting there in the off lane and dying a lot, but now he's a serious threat because he just had like 2 or 3 minutes to himself to just bully the TB. That's kind of the unfortunate thing when you leave like that. And now the Shadow Shaman is top, and the
and now
Pugna
mid
sees
lane.
that.
They're gonna capture the Death Prophet in the cogs twice, taking quite a bit of damage here. Not dead just yet. DK though, he actually has gone for 4 points blood, 2 in Breathe Fire. So not much offensive power here from the DK. The Death Prophet will therefore survive.
Tanky though.
Yeah, this Pugna is now level 6, and I don't think they could actually push their tower with Terrorblade anymore. I mean, if you do want to do that, you're gonna take a lot of blasts.
Oh yeah, Pugna's a hero who just completely demolishes the TB too. It's this weird thing where you can life drain the Terrorblade and decrep him, and he's gonna sunder you, and then you'll continue life draining him to 0 HP, even completely disregarding the sunder, because he's not gonna be able to hit you because he's still gonna be decrept, you know. So it's this really nice like. You can get him to waste Sunder. It doesn't even matter because in Pugna, you life drain. You're going to heal the full HP so quickly anyway. He's going to take so much damage anyway. The life drain lasts for 10 seconds, for God's sakes.
Towards mid, Shani brings them in a little bit too far, and with that slow from the battery assaults, they will get the kill. I'm not sure if that Shackle on twice is going to do much. These ghosts will do about nothing versus a Dragon Knight with 4 points in blood, so that was a little bit of a panic move there from the DP. Still going to go for the Siphon Swarm. Lots of damage, but no kills here. DK with 15 wand charges and an urn on his friend. They will pull in the Terrorblade, look to make something out of this exorcism, but here's the advantage of this Tusk. He's level 6 now. He has the Walrus Punch, and he's ready to rotate back in towards the mid lane. DK ultimate is going to be used. Death Prophet in the wrong neighborhood. The Decrepify Breathe Fire destroys her, and here comes the call down from Mumbo. Going to drive everyone else back. Shards, not really sure that's going to help them, especially when the Cogs captures too. Terrorblade is hit with that seal. Can't get the Sunder off. Will get blasted to death twice this time. Survives. And this is a great turnaround for Madison, as now they're the ones pushing the tier 1.
Pugna's a big boy, and he's doing a lot in this game. That is, I mean, okay. The saving grace is that Brew now gets some space. He has his ulti available. Maybe they can fight on the next tier 1, and they'll be good. Brew's pretty good against the Pugna because you can take off the decrep with the dispel. You can throw up the Pugna while he's there's many ways to interrupt the life drain. I mean, that was just really good positioning from that Pugna, honestly. Like getting that Invis rune, pinging the DP, like, okay guys, like we're gonna go on this guy, we're gonna silence the TB, they go on the DP. Like you can tell that there was a clear plan of attack there using that Invis rune. So just utilizing that rune beautifully, and with the levels of the Pugna, it's like, it's so much burst damage at this point. It's ridiculous. The Pugna heads down to the bottom lane, gonna bully the heck out of this TB. TB's having a rough game now that, honestly, like, just
Finds the Shadow Shaman instead.
Oh, he is a dead man.
Rained out. Feel pretty bad. Over in the top lane, they do split with the Brew, trying to look for that Gyrocopter.
Is he gonna kill the Gyro solo?
I think the Immolation's got him. One more Boulder Toss, he's definitely got him.
Wow.
I think a Skywrath Mage can do about that, so it will cost them a Tusk. I think he was picked off by maybe a homing missile, maybe a flat cannon shot. I don't really know, but we'll lose 2 across the map for that Gyro. But again, you know, Gyro is gonna go down, so especially with this rotation of Terrorblade and the DP, Exorcism now up, maybe able to get this tower as well. This game, yeah, is looking like it actually just may be that even game that we were promised.
I really like this TB's like map positioning. He's extremely aware of who he can and can't lane against. Even though it's a Pugna and it's an offlaner, he knows that he needs to go to the top lane and use that pushing power with the Death Prophet. Like and then in the middle lane, he went to the middle lane to try and push that when the DP used ulti. Like this guy's very smart with his rotations. He would just be feeding or getting 0 farm if he stayed in the bottom lane, but now he's in the top lane, which is actually now the safe space. They're taking a stack as well, so this is going to be some really nice XP and gold for the TB and the DP. Although Gyro is looking like he's going hella in right now.
Got the call down. It will clear out the Shadow Shaman, but up against the Siphons, not really sure if he wants to be here. That Decrepify definitely not doing him any favors. Yeah, I mean, he's probably dead anyway.
That's when you well played your team.
Does have some reflection. There is a flare. Oh, 2 flares coming in. Got 1 of each. 1 Mystic and 1 Rocket. That's of course what I meant in a perfect display of casting. But, you know, Gyrocopter goes down 1 more time. That sucks for him. This time though, that turnaround, especially showing off that fresh level 6 on the Skywrath Mage for a TB kill, man. These trades are looking. It's hard to say who's actually getting the upper hand in these engagements because Gyrocopter is still on top of the net worth chart despite all these deaths.
I would honestly say that these trades are probably in favor of UMass, just because I think that a lot of the DP just kills with the Tusk. They dive and kill the Skywrath. They're gonna get the mid tower too, which is huge. I think that a lot of the team fighting potential comes from this Gyro being a problem, you know. So I think the more that he dies like this, the less likely it is that they're going to be able to win these fights, you know. Because right now he's a huge threat in these fights, but you know, as he dies, we can see the DP is now taking over in terms of net worth, and yeah, I think things are going to get pretty scary because I think the Gyro is a big part of the win condition for them. Whereas, like, you know, on the enemy team, you know, the Brew, is he part of the win condition? I don't know. TB, DP kind of do the same. You know what I mean? Like, I think a Gyro is a huge factor in these team fights. Pugna can be disabled up. He's very easy to kill. DK is just kind of a tanky boy, pushes towers. That's about it. I think Gyro really is their raw damage. He's kind of their bruiser in this game right now. And if he starts falling off, well, it's gonna be really hard for them to take team fights because then what do? All that UMass needs to do is focus the Pugna. That's it. Ignore the Gyro, focus the Pugna. Easy game. But they're looking to defend bot, I guess.
This is going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah,
there is no
defending.
Metamorphosis, there is an Exorcism, and they are cleaning out these Serpent Wards pretty rapidly. So it looks like this will be it until the hookshot comes in. Brewmaster trying to split, but he gets sealed up. And now with the flare and the cogs, that's the combo right there. With the call coming down as well. They've isolated the Death Prophet. Should be able to kill off the Shadow Shaman. Now DP is going to land into a Dragon Tail. That's not where she wants to be. So much magic damage. We'll get them an instant triple. That's 3k net worth lead here for Wisconsin. Drop of the hat, and that's the burst damage you have to worry about. Now, we've already talked about like how good BKBs are in this game. There are currently no BKBs. You get hit with that Decrepify, you get hit with that Ancient Seal, even though it's only level 1 seal. Like, I don't care who you are screwed unless you have literal magic immunity. And
yeah, okay.
Now UMass are maybe even going to lose this tower. There's a catapult, no creep wave. There's a creep wave and a catapult. So yeah, this tower might go down.
The big issue there was that the Tusk wasn't the Tusk was super far away from the fight. There's no tier 1 tower to TP to. The only way that it's like what I was saying in the draft. Like the only way that they survive the initiation, if UWM of course gets a good initiation, which they did. That was beautiful. Exactly what I expected them to do with the hook into Decrepify, into the silence, into the huge flare from Skywrath Mages blowing up the Brew. Important target to blow up either the DP or the Brew. But the Tusk wasn't there to save. That's the only way that they survive that. If it's a good initiation, they need the Tusk there. So I think fighting without a Tusk is a big mistake, and DP's getting gone on here. But I don't know. This is an awkward engagement. There's no DP ulti. TB used meta. Maybe they just back off and they're happy with this. They're pretty low. Standing on the high
Well,
ground. This is a nice
they're
bait.
yeah, they're waiting, hoping that someone on UMass is gonna get a little bit stupid here. One on UMass is gonna get stupid, so he'll just pull up the creep wave, back off. Happy with their spoils. The Death Prophet ultimate was used there. Didn't really do all that much. Metamorphosis now was used in that defense. So, even though Wisconsin, they have to fall back right now, they're not really going to be on the defensive. UMass are going to be the ones that are still on the defensive. So that lead from the fight that they just got and won from, like, that is going to stay in their favor until at least another ultimate comes up in this exorcism.
Yep. It's exactly what you were saying during the draft. We have this very persistent fighting lineup with the cores of Pugna, the Gyrocopter, DK, maybe not so much with the ulti. But these heroes are a lot more persistent in terms of fighting, having spells up than a TP with Metamorphosis. It's got 155-second cooldown. The DP ulti, it's got 145-second cooldown. You kind of want these things to match up. Although they're actually going for a smoke with the DP, just having a TP push bot, and they're going to go smoke with the DP ulti. They're ignoring the DK. They choose not to go on the DK. Okay, that's they're going for the gyro. Sky walks into it. That's a good 5-role player right there, taking the gank.
Yeah, we were talking about this I guess it was technically earlier this week, but it's like, you see that one person with your smoke, sometimes you don't go for them. I think if it's a DK, you go for him. Like, you should have enough damage to kill off a DK by himself. There's no tier 1 in the area. And trying to go for the big kill, for that Gyrocopter kill, I mean, it's bold for sure, but running into that Skywrath mage, and now the smoke, like, it's an empty smoke. They get a Skywrath mage kill.
I can respect the fact that they wanted to go for the big kill, though. I can absolutely respect that. Because I think they're also recognizing that there's a huge portion of the Dire's team fight is going to come from this Gyro being huge, not just being okay. He needs to be huge, and he is huge. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's very tanky. He's doing a lot of damage in these fights, putting himself right in the front of the engagement. And it looks like they're actually smoking for him again. He's definitely not going to expect this. Oh, man. Speaking of huge kills, if they can get him, they have vision, too. They have vision. They know exactly
snowball, what he is. They got him, and now he's dead. I was just about to say before UMass got cleaned up on the bottom lane that I'm kind of impressed by their ability to stay on track. Like, they know their strength in this lineup. They know that they are going to, most of the time when they get the initiation, win the team fights, be able to push freely, and they're just sticking to that game plan. Like, 5 kills behind, who cares? They know that they're stronger in this scenario, and I agree with them. So they're going to go ahead, take this bottom lane, probably in its entirety, and probably just draw up the game in the gold department.
Yeah, there's no way that the UWM fights without the gyro. And they know it. They're just going to full split push mode. So I really like the fact that they're just hard committing to this tier 2, even hitting with the Shadow Shaman and the Tusk, because they're just fully, completely aware that they're not going to fight this. Actually, the DK is peeking right in. This could be really
Dragon
bad.
Tail dodged by the Tusk. Gets the Walrus punch out. The Flare is going to be off the mark. They may take out the Tusk, but no one's dealing with this Terror Blade right now. Just right-clicking everyone. Now the Ghost's chasing after the DK. He's down, and the Split should be able to kill off that Skype Mage with the Boulder. And it looks like he's still alive right now, but the Pugna probably not. The Ghosts are still out, and they have another big ultimate they have yet to use. Pugna's going to be forced to buy out the Call Down. The Flat Cannon will do quite a bit of damage here. Twice going to come and bump the Death Prophet back. Siphon not available, or at least didn't use it. Twice now going to shuffle forward, and will find the Brewmaster as well as that Shadow Shaman to triple kill for the Gyrocopter. This tower is still alive, very, very low. But just like that, UMass perhaps go a little bit too far.
They got a bit greedy with the... as soon as the Pugna buys back and you have the Gyro and the Pugna in the fight again, you need to leave, Because, like I said, the DK, not much of a problem. He's a tanky boy, he's a tower pusher, he's a stunner. Not doing much damage yet. The Pugna, the Gyro together, these heroes are crushing. I think if the Gyro's dead, you can just focus the Pugna. You don't need to be scared. If the Pugna's dead, you can just ignore the Gyro or focus the Gyro. You don't need to be scared. If they're both alive, you need to get the initiation. You need to kill one of them at the start of the fight. And without Panda ulti, I think that Panda ulti was a huge reason that they won that fight. He went in, he clapped 2 or 3, he split, he put up the Pugna, killed the Skywrath. He did all of this crazy stuff in the fight, and then it's down. But they really, really wanted that tower. You could tell, because it's like, this is it, guys. We got this. I've absolutely been there. I think we all have.
Yep.
But when the Pugna buys back, yeah, you can't really be greedy. And speaking of greed, it looks like the Dyer's
Oh,
trying
that
to take
jump
a
in from the DK. They do flare and immediately kill off the Shadow Shaman, but able to kill off that Tusk. Is able to snowball, maybe get a little bit of distance. Okay, now who am I kidding? He's pretty screwed. That initiation, though, man, that took some stones for the DK just to kind of blink up the high ground like that. They're going to say, screw
geez.
Roche, we're going to go in for mid. There is still no Exorcism, still no split. Those are going to be up in about the same time. But, you know, sacrificing this tier 2 tower, yeah, he went for BKB first. Again, staying on game plan. Usually we see Heavens, no, not a Heavens Halberd, a Pike, Manta style before a BKB, but no, he's ready to go and actually just win the game if they actually get the chance. Looking for the Death Prophet, though, is going to get sealed up, takes a lot of damage, but will be fine, has the Dual Scepter if she needs it. TB is going to reflect up everyone and use Metamorphosis. To do so far, not much. And Snowball forward, looking for the Gyro, but he's pretty quick. Still gets caught with the shards, but gets force tapped out, so he's okay. As the Tusk takes a pretty big hit. The DK once again pushing the front lines. The BKB now onto Mumbo, just gonna grind down absolutely everyone. Now in a man fight with the Terror Blade. Not sure if he's gonna win that one, but it's the Death Prophet already to fall as your boy, the Terror Blade. He is kind of alone here. His backup is in this Brewmaster, trying to focus on the Skywrath Mage. He will get him, but at what cost? Is gonna try to Sunder, can't get it out. I think the missile stunned him from the Gyrocopter, and now 4 are down. Looking for the 5th in that Brewmaster. Hookshot's going to land. They have the battery assault. No, that's actually going to run out, but they've got him cornered anyway. It's a full wipe as Wisconsin, they're able to just jump in, smash that DP, no issues whatsoever, and Gyrocopter with his own BKB showing up real big.
Oh yeah, he is just chunking out the damage in these fights. I mean, it's so unfortunate for UM that the DP died right at the start there, just straight up to all of the Gyros burst with that BKB. This DP is so close to his BKB, he needs it so badly, because I wish I could see the damage sources in that fight, because I imagine he probably took almost exclusively magical damage. And when he has the BKB, he'll feel a lot more comfortable, you know, taking these fights and kind of frontlining like that, because it's just all magical damage, you know? The DK is not really doing much in terms of damage at the moment. Also going for a BKB as well, so. There's a good brew split, too, in that fight. It's just unfortunate the DP got blown up. The TB, his HP was at like 60% to start that fight. So he's not comfortable walking in and trying to be that big tanky boy, you know? Because what happens if he gets decrepit and silenced and Mystic Flare? He's just done, you know? And I mean, that kind of happened right at the end there.
I have a feeling it may just still be this Pugna. Not any of his like usual abilities. Nether Ward kind of destroys Death Prophet.
Oh yeah,
300 mana cost on the Exorcism. She now has BKB, so hopefully for her sake she'll be able to dodge some of that. But gotta watch out for this Nether Ward. The mana costs on UMass aren't, you know, overly backbreaking, except for Shadow Shaman. He does not appreciate that Nether Ward. But you know, gotta watch out for that Nether Ward. It's sometimes just something that you forget about until it destroys you in a fight.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, next fight we're gonna kill the Nether Ward. But if you spend too much time looking for that thing, then there's a Gyrocopter in your face, there's a DK there, and you get flared. It's definitely a little bit of a problem here for UMass, but still only a 4K deficit, still with a lot of power once all of their ultimates are up. If they do go for a team fight where they get initiation for, you know, maybe just a force staff into a shard or something like that, then we could definitely see this lead turning the other way.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, one botched team fight from either team is going to result in towers. You know, with DK Pugna, these are great tower pushers with Death Prophet, Brewmaster, Shadow Shaman, and Terrorblade. God, it's all of their heroes. These are amazing tower pushers. You can't really lose a fight at this point. It's a very close game, and Gyro's getting gone up.
Oh, BKB, Mumbo is therefore taking absolutely no damage, and he's going to kill 2 just in the random AoE that he's throwing out right now. Terrorblade is in the back, dragon-tailed by the DK, and now Freshow is pushing forward kind of by himself. He does have to split back up a little bit, and he will be able to kill off that Gyrocopter. Only Skywrath Mage with no mana trying to help him. That's not going to work out, as the Carnage is going to hit with another boulder. He does have a life drain, but he can't get it. Oh, he is going to decrepify and start draining. Not dead just yet. This Brewmaster's in a lot of trouble right now. The silence comes in, but it's not going to be able to kill off the Pugna just yet. No, Swarm will. And now they're on to twice this Clockwork. Going to try to shuffle down to the low ground. Will get there and will TP out. They are able to isolate and kill off that Gyrocopter. That is, however, all of their big ultimates. So 45 seconds, 50 seconds, Wisconsin are going to be knocking on the front door once again.
Yeah, that's a weird fight. I mean, I think that favors because they killed the Pugna and the Gyro. Those are two huge problems in this game right now. And I mean, especially the Gyro. That guy's. I mean, he's top of net worth by a pretty decent margin. And we're seeing DPs now closing in on it because Gyro's dead. But yeah, that's a pretty nice fight from them. The thing is, by the time since they're pushing out these lanes, by the time the Dire is alive, they're going to need to deal with these lanes, and then all of a sudden UM's gonna have these they're gonna have their abilities up. So I think what we're seeing now and what we're going to see, maybe this is I mean, obviously this is conjecture. The game could go either way depending on these initiations, just given the drafts, you know. But I think that we're gonna start seeing team fights being more favored towards UMass because of these BKBs. And I think in the last fight we kind of saw it swing, you know. We kind of saw, you know, Gyro Pugna dying. Those are pretty huge pickoffs. These heroes weren't dying in the previous fights, but DP could just pop the BKB, could hunt down the Gyro after his BKB, which is now running out. It's only an 8-second BKB. It's going to be 5 seconds at some point. And yeah, I think things are looking pretty good for UMass actually. Of course, obviously, it all depends on the initiations, though. I think that, you know, if Brew gets gone on, he's going for Radiance. He has no way to deal with that silence. He's got to play immaculately right now. Otherwise, his team's going to lose. One misstep from this Brew, and they lose the game. So, I don't know. He seems to know that, though. He's been playing these last few team fights really, really well. So, I guess we'll see. It's all in the initiation, I think. Otherwise, I think UMass is going to
He just critted 5 times in a row. Are you watching this Brew?
Did he?
Yeah, literally 5 times in a row. That was ridiculous. I was actually just about to ask you. They're going to hookshot the Brewmaster and
nice
should
hook.
be able to kill him off with the flare. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Oh, God.
You're this Brewmaster in this game, right? You have a Blink Dagger, you have Soul Ring.
I go
what
BKB.
Do you get? What does Jenkins get?
I go BKB because I've done this Radiance stuff before where you're like, oh, we need damage, guys. I'm just going to play really well. And then all of a sudden, exactly that happens. And you wish that you had a BKB and could just split. He's down for 34 seconds now. Oh, man. That's so funny that I was talking about the Brew getting initiated on. He has to play immaculately. And then he immediately gets
nailed.
We talk about, like, oh, he crit 5 times and he gets gone on.
Hey, man. Critting 5 times, that's all RNG right there. Or skill. I don't know. You play more.
He's a god, dude. He's a god, man. He's like seeing the attack animation, canceling the ones that aren't crits.
Jump in straight away from the DK, trying to focus down this Death Prophet. Gets Force Staff out, gets the BKB out as well, but still in a really, really bad spot. Your boy's not doing enough damage. Coming on for this BKB He is failing to go up against the DK in a favorable way because of all of that armor. Although they are going to keep this Death Prophet alive, the Soul Vessel goes on her, and with the hook shot in, she's going to go down here. Now the Terror Blade is completely isolated. The missile will kill him off. Twice is going to dodge the clap. And Soul Vessel illusion, that was kind of weird, but he's still in a little bit of trouble. Snowball in, Walrus Punch, not dead just yet. Jump in, Brew is gonna split, but up against 3 heroes. Looks like he will just take the Clockwork and then bail out of there, but that Netherward was once again alive for the entire fight. Again, not really sure how much damage that actually did, but that Gyrocopter, man, did 4,000 damage in that engagement, but the DK, I think, was probably the MVP. That blink straight Dragon Tail onto a DP, that's how you start a fight.
That's exactly who you want to go on. I mean, just the lockdown, like the duration of that lockdown versus the BKB, it's enough to put the DP into that kind of threshold of HP where she's kind of uncomfortable running into the team fight and getting all of the damage from those ghosts on the enemy team. You know, he had the ghosts up, so they weren't going to go on him. But basically they forced out the ulti. Didn't necessarily kill him until much later in the fight, but they put DP into this weird. Gave DP this weird choice of like, okay, you want to come into this fight, you're going to be at huge risk of just dying to the in the crossfire, you know, and he did die to the crossfire. Well, clock hook and things like that, but he put himself in harm's way because of that initiation, because he had no choice. It's either fight or lose your racks. You know, fight with 40% HP or lose your racks, and he chose to fight and he died.
Looking for the Roche. They don't need any ultimates or anything like that, Wisconsin, to actually do this Roche, unlike something that UMass may need. Not going to be the fastest. Is going to certainly put a dent into that DK's armor. But you know what? Looks like they should be able to get it free because UMass, so good about staying on plan, so good about playing to their strengths so far in this game, ultimately are looking like they're a little bit scared. And after the past couple of fights, and looking at this kill deficit, I honestly don't blame them. Like, they are definitely not as far behind as they think. 7K lead is not something that they can't come back from, but it feels like they think they're really, really far behind.
Yeah, I mean, with the past couple of team fights going the way that they did, I can definitely understand the pressure that they're feeling right now. Um, but I also think that it's important to realize in a game, you know, the manner in which you should be taking fights and kind of coming to the realization that that's not how they've been going. So if they were taking fights in the way that their lineup should, as in they go for the initiation, they get all of their spells off with 100% HP, and then they're losing, then I could definitely understand, like, okay, you know, it's a rough game. You got to do something, you know, something crazy, some Hail Mary. But in this game, I think that if they just fight and they get all their spells off and they don't start a fight at 30, 40, 50% HP on their DP or TB, I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable in this game.
Watch out for that Blink Dragon Tail. At this point, DK, BKB, and Armlet is quite the persistent threat. Not a lot of, you know, huge burst damage or anything like that, but just kind of an unkillable chipping machine. Oh, they're going to jump right in, try to go into the Brewmaster. He took the Dragon Tail. No BKB is going to save him here. And that's going to be immediately 3 heroes down. Your boy's standing his ground, but again, focusing the DK, not the target he really needs to be looking at. He has to instead go for this Gyrocopter, but I guess he has the Aegis. Now they're going to flare the Terror Blade. Skywrath Mage coming into play. Good game is called. And again, that initiation, it's Wisconsin to crash in incredibly hard, and UMass to have absolutely no answers.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's honestly at that point with the Aegis, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard at that point with the Aegis. I think getting the initiation was definitely something that they should have done. I mean, it's obviously really hard with the Brewer when he doesn't have a BKB. He was pretty far behind. He couldn't get the split off, and then everything goes south. You know, that's just how it goes. When you have a Brewmaster, when you're against a sort of lineup like this, you need that disable when there's a Gyro, there's a Pug doing so much damage. The DK, who has a ridiculous amount of lockdown, he's also doing damage at this point. You need the Brew to get that split off, but it's just so damn hard against the Skywrath Mage. And unfortunately for him, he didn't have the gold really to have a BKB at that point. He was going for a Radiance, but he didn't even have the gold for a BKB. So what does he get? A Yules? You know, it's like it's just a very weird situation. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard for him. I can definitely feel for him. I've been in that situation on Brew where it's like, oh god, you know, I wish I had a, you know, BKB at this point, because these fights are literally riding on the fact that I get off this ultimate, but it's this huge cast time, and the Sky Mage can just very easily silence and you know, disable that. And without it, they can't fight. There's no way.
0-8-15 on this Tusk. I feel like he deserves a little bit better than that, but for sure the Gyrocopter in this game, hell of a lot of damage output. Definitely was in the right place at the right time, but you know, got a 7-1-21 clockwork. We had DK with a rock solid score as well. All those stunners on Madison, just making sure that heroes like Gyrocopter, like Pugna, aren't actually taking the focus. And
I mean,
you know, that
yeah,
in and of itself is a win if you could get the initiation off, which I'm sure, 100% sure, UMass are going to be looking at for their next game. Like, say what you will about their draft, I think it's fantastic, but the flaw is going to be their lack of initiation. A little bit too much push, perhaps? I don't know, but they really struggle to start fights on their own terms. I think that's really the problem here.
They definitely did. It's funny because the best fight that we saw after the, you know, when the game kind of got into that period where there was a lot of high ground sieging going on, the best fight that we saw was actually when the Tusk and the Shadow Shaman died immediately right at the start. But I think the reason that was a good fight is because it you know, you waste all your spells killing these supports, and you have the DP, the TB, the Brew gets split off, the DP gets the ult off, has full HP, the TB gets his med off, he's got full HP. And the fight actually went a lot better, despite the supports dying literally right at the start. So it's just, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, this was definitely a game of initiation, and UW Madison was just doing a fantastic job at getting those initiations. The clock hooks were beautiful. I mean, it's pretty easy to kind of to gloss over the fact that, or to pass over the fact that if the clock initiated on Tusk or the Shadow Shaman, who cares? You're not going to win that fight. You know, the Brew's going to go, he's going to get the split off. But every single damn fight, they had the DK, they had the clock, and they would go on the DP, they would go on the Brew, and they would blow them up before they got their ult off. Every single fight, you know? So just I mean, kudos to them for recognizing exactly what they need to do and executing it in almost every single team fight, except for that one team fight down the middle lane that we saw where the Pugna and the Gyro died, where they got initiated on. But really, the clock and the DK playing phenomenally with these initiations, and it could have gone so south for them. You know, they almost lost racks from that one lost team fight, but no, great initiations coming from UW Madison, and yeah, I guess we'll probably see some more of that in the next game. You know, good initiations. These players seem to play with balls. Like they're not afraid to lose a fight and then you know try to take the next one a little bit better.
I like it, man. Play with gusto. Play with the balls, and you know, just go take some heads. They're starting to ask where the lobby is, so let's wrap this up and actually look at a game 2, because this is a best of 3, guys. Don't go anywhere. You definitely do not want to miss this, because it's looking fairly even. We're gonna get to game 2 as soon as possible here. What's up, guys, and welcome back to AVGL. This is game 2 between Madison and UMass Amherst. This game 1 was definitely a close battle, definitely a lot of action, but ultimately it was the execution, the initiation from UW Madison that let them take that first game. We'll see what's going to happen in this second game. This is the first of 2 best of 3s on the day, so a lot of college Dota coming at you guys. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Jenkins for the second game. Hey, look at that. It's Gyrocopter. He's going to get banned out.
Yeah, that was quite a performance from Mumbo, to be honest. We said it at the end there. He played with balls. He died a couple of times going in, playing super, super ballsy, but he didn't let it stop him. And I think that's something that's definitely respectable. And on Gyro, when you are going to be arguably the most important part of a team fight, playing with that sort of kahunas is definitely important. Playing like a bit of a wimp after dying a couple of times, they could have lost the game very easily there. I mean, but they just kept the pressure up. They just kept the pressure up from some good lanes, and they were just relentless. I was gonna say relenting, but is that even a word? I don't know. Unrelenting. They were unrelenting. They were yeah.
I never heard anyone say relenting, but I think that's also a word.
Is it? What's
usually it's unrelenting, but like,
I guess if there's unrelenting, okay, relenting
Yeah.
is like letting up, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, a little bit of vocabulary lesson.
You don't want to take vocab lessons from Dota 2 casters. I can guarantee that will blow up in your face.
And Dota players, dude.
And we don't actually speak English. That's the rumor. But
Yeah.
the Clockwork is going to be taken up once again. This time it's going to be in the hands of UMass, so Twice is going to have to play something else, probably this Tusk. So a little bit of a hero swap. You could say the Lycan actually going to get banned out in the first phase, but look at this. Madison going to bust out something a little bit different. Was banned out in game 1. We'll grab the Tusk, we'll grab the Beastmaster. Right off the bat, lots of options, but also a hell of a lot of vision.
Yeah, the Beastmaster has the Hawk, Tusk has the Sigil, lots of vision, lots of initiation, lots of stun. Tusk gets people right on top for the roar. You have the shards to block off as well. There's a lot of utility between these two heroes, and Clockwork and Bane, also two heroes. Neither of them are particularly slouches in terms of, providing a lot to the game. All of these heroes kind of cover a lot of bases, Glock has vision, he has stuns, he has the cogs to block off. Bane has the nightmare to disable one person, the Fiend's grip, the damage reduction. They just very, very jack of all tradesy heroes being picked right now. And I mean, that's exactly what you would expect in the first phase. I like to call these heroes Marios. That's what I like to call them, because in like Super Smash Bros, how if somebody picks Mario, you're not like, dude, that hero's so OP, or you're not like, you don't think it's some stupid, like they're not picking Jigglypuff, you're not laughing at them because they picked a stupid. It's just a character, He's just a character. And that's kind of how Clock, Bane, Tusk, and Beast are. Obviously, they're the more overpowered of the current Marios in Dota, but they're heroes that you're never going to be too upset that they're in your game. They just do enough. Even if they're behind, they're going to do enough just by virtue of having good disables. They're kind of jack of all trades. They provide a lot. I really like in the first couple of picks picking the Marios, picking sometimes the flex picks, the heroes that can go to different lanes, and then you sort of pull out the trumps. You sort of pull out the cheesy picks, the things that really bring the draft together in the last few picks.
The Fox and Falco.
Yeah, exactly. Well, goddamn, those Fox and Falco are like the characters that are so overpowered that
they're first banned. They're not
exactly,
in this game anymore.
Exactly. They're like the Gyros and the Shadow Fiends and stuff, where it's like they're not a hero that does everything really well. They just do something extremely overpoweredly that they're like still first phase, because who cares if you're revealing stuff about the draft? You just want those heroes on your team because they're broken. Whereas with these other heroes, Tusk, Beast, Bane, Clock, not necessarily broken, but there's never going to be a situation where you're like, oh god, I have a Beastmaster on my team. Oh, what a feeder, It's like, oh, we got a Beast. He's got a stun.
Keep in mind, guys, we are not Smash casters. We don't actually know all. I don't actually know all that much. I know what's good. I know what's not good. But yeah, please don't tell the FGC about what we're doing here.
I think it depends on what game you're referring to. I'm pretty sure.
Automatically melee. Got to be melee. But we actually still have a draft going on here. It's the Terrorblade, Disruptor, Luna, and SF. These really aggressive pushing heroes actually from Madison going to be taken out. OD's the pick, immediately counterpicked by the Nyx Assassin. It's really good up against OD, but then again, this OD is so powerful just defensively up against heroes like Bane and Clockwork. That Imprison is aces.
Oh yeah, that imprison is. I mean, actually, OD just for the imprison here is pretty strong. I mean, play him as a damn support, and he'll probably have a decent game. Because yeah, I mean, against the Bane, hard counters the Fiend's Grip, the Nightmare, Clockwork, completely hard counters his initiation. Arguably, even counters the Nyx's initiation. The only thing is the OD is obviously countered by the Nyx in terms of the mana burn, but. Scarith Mage, I like that pickup against a Nyx Assassin when you have an OD because you can just silence the Nyx and then OD can kind of any sort of disable for the Nyx while OD does his thing is really great. Or you can get an Omni and kind of work it defensively where you don't care about the Nyx because you have an Omni. But I really like when you pick an OD and somebody picks Nyx against you that you do something in the draft where okay, this Nyx is going to be handled so OD can do his thing. Because I really think that OD is a pretty broken hero once he gets past that first hump of getting the 4-staff, maybe getting drums. Unless there's like a Nyx, unless there's like a hard counter. So if you get picked a hard counter against, I think you need to deal with it in some way. And I like the Skywrath because I think it deals with it pretty effectively.
Also worth noting that we were talking about last game about the problems of UMass's draft, the issues they had. They're going in the opposite direction, man. They're getting all the initiation in the freaking world right now.
They really are.
They're not going to be caught off guard by their problems that they had in the last game. So they have all this initiation, they have all this disable. Now what? How do they win the game? What heroes are they going to pick to actually get some damage on the board? They're very open-ended for sure, but Nyx Assassin, just as a hero, like, he doesn't let you win the game as much as just have a toolbox of answers. Lifestealer is going to be one of those win-the-game heroes, but then again, there are already so many good answers to this Lifestealer, like, kiting-wise, that OD Imprison, you have the Roar, you have the Walrus Punch, you have the Shards. Lifestealer is great with the Clockwork, great with the Nyx Assassin, but he's going to run into a lot of issues in this game.
I definitely think traditionally Lifestealer is countered by these heroes, but with the Radiance build, I think you typically get kited anyway, So maybe with this new build, it's not going to matter all that much. Obviously, once again, just conjecture. I don't play a lot of Lifestealer, but I've seen a lot of Lifestealer players, and typically they just kind of do. They don't do what kind of that old Lifestealer does where he tries to run at people and kind of burst them down. It's more of this, like, you sit and exist in a fight, doing that kind of pulsating damage, very hard to kill because you have all the evasion. And, yeah, I mean, I think maybe Lifestealer is pretty decent here, actually. And against the Beastmaster, the board no longer slows through BKB. So Lifestealer has typically been considered a counter to Beastmaster in the laning phase. Of course, the Roar is excellent against Lifestealer because it pierces through the BKB. But in the laning stage, I think that Lifestealer is going to do pretty well. And I don't know, maybe with this new build people are doing, it's not that big of a deal. I think it's great against the magical damage. Although the Skywrath Mage Silence has typically been considered a pretty hard counter to the Lifestealer because obviously you can't rage through the silence and you can burst him with the ulti, especially with the Beastmaster Roar to set that up. So I mean, it's gonna obviously require some pretty high level of execution from this Lifestealer, but I think he could have a decent game. But once again, I think Madison showed that they were very, very capable of initiating on the right targets last game. And if they do it again this game, well, Lifestealer's going to have a rough game. And now there's a sniper that they need to initiate on too, actually. So that does make things a little bit harder.
I'm a big fan of the sniper pick, though. I feel like this hero is perhaps a little bit underplayed. It certainly has its place in situations where you're like not going up against Nyx Assassin, for example. But up against OD, you got a good matchup. You are working with a lot of initiation heroes like Lifestealer, Nyx, Clockwork. Once they go in, they're your front line. Nothing's really going to get past them until the Phantom Lancer gets picked up. But even then, it's like you have heroes to hide behind in this situation. So I like this last pick here for UMass. I definitely think they now have a little bit of a later game play here. But Madison, not to be outdone, already have the OD, now grabbing that PL. And the AoE on UMass, well, it's certainly not coming out of their supports. Lifestealer has Radiance. Could we count that as AoE versus PL? It's good, but I don't know if it's going to be quite enough. And
it's decent. It's decent versus PL. I mean, the Shrapnel's pretty good. The Mjolnir from Sniper. But yeah, I think PL's a pretty damn good pick here, actually. You can get on top of the Sniper. Typically considered to be a counter to Lifestealer. And yeah, not much AoE for this PL here. I think I think I'm favoring UW Madison in this game just because I think that OD will probably have a pretty decent game. I think that the Lifestealer could get pretty heavily kited in this game despite having the Radiance build. I think he's up against way too much. And then now with the PL, I mean Lifestealer just does nothing to PL. Neither does Sniper, barring the PL getting disabled and really kind of misplaying. But Mumbo was playing beautifully in the last game. I imagine he'll probably know exactly how to play this PL in this game because he is the drafter. He picked it. He knows exactly why he wants this here. He last picked it. So I think I'm kind of favoring UW Madison in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think UMass, I think, probably got the best draft that they could have gotten, given those first 3 picks. So I think they ended up in a pretty good spot. But still, I think the answers are a little bit too many. The Nick Sasson certainly has to do a hell of a lot of initiating, as does the Clockwork. And you always do have these counters, like PL, if you're able to find him, then he's just dead. Like, Mana Burn is great up against OD and even the Skywrath Mage. So you have these interactions here, but overall, I think Wisconsin have a couple more options.
Okay, yeah, I think it's honestly it boils down to initiation again. They have the Beast Roar with the Skywrath. Nobody's gonna survive that, for God's sakes. And then, but then on the enemy team, they have the Fiend's Grip. They have the Clock Hook, the Nyx, and they can do an Infest Bomb with both of these heroes. With the Nyx and the Clock, they've got 2 vehicles for the Nakes, which is always what people say. You need 2 vehicles, and then you have a lot of ganking potential. The game Nakes can have a really good game. So I think, okay, actually, there's a smoke happening, but I think Nyx is... Ooh, Odie walked into the tower. No. Oh, God.
In that angle, there's maybe some situations where you can still get the kill with shards, but not going to happen. I mean, you can maybe do it in game 1 and get that, but not twice in a row. That's a little bit ambitious.
Hey, maybe
unless you go for game 3, then it's like there's no way they do it a 3rd time, and then you do it again.
That's true. That is true. It's like the reverse psychology. Although it's unfortunate the OD walked into the tower there. Although, smoking like that, it does help you scout the lanes and get the lanes that you want. So even if you fail a smoke like that, it's still pretty nice, Ooh, nice job. Nick steals the bounty. Otherwise, they would have lost every single bounty room. Although, I mean,
still going to be 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I said that they got the lanes that they would like, but PL is still taking a really long time to run to this lane, so the Clock just gets 2 free runes. Anyway, yeah, I think I mean, there's kill potential on either side. Both of these drafts, these heroes are they're very, very good heroes, especially given the right initiation. With the snowball, either of these teams could definitely still win. Although I am favoring UWM. Slightly.
It is going to be a versus Clockwork in the offlane capacity. The Bane with the Nick Sasson, tried and true, put them to sleep, impale them afterwards, get that guaranteed disable. It's certainly going to be a lane where the Clockwork is going to be taking a lot of harassment from these bolts. Eventually, I would assume you go for the Phantom Rush build in this lane, and you just start running at the Clockwork. Because you have the doppelgang to get out of there every single time, so you're never going to die unless you make a big mistake. So Notzak may have some issues, but over in the bottom lane, we have a 2v3 lane. The Tusk is with the Beastmaster, and they're both going to get impaled. Beating into an Assassin, beating into a Bane, like, it seems like a kind of a futile effort here, because these heroes just don't die, and Beastmaster, he's tanky, but up against 3 heroes, he might die here, or at least takes a lot of damage, but, I mean, man, this Nick Assassin and Bane's tankiness is, like, such a limiting factor of this lane. Usually you can go for like that Coddle or that Shadow Shaman in the lane, but not here. Everyone's super bulky.
I was in a pub the other day and I was playing Treant Protector. I was not playing on Europe servers and I was running at a Bane. And it was probably my biggest regret in life was trying to kill a Bane, even with the Treant Protector. It's like this guy has 5 armor. He's brain sapping you, which is not only doing pure damage to you, but returning the exact amount that the hero just feels unkillable. In when you're trying to harass him as a support or as an offlaner, it's like an Omni Knight. The hero just has such high armor, high damage, it's fast, and then it can do the health swap, like pure damage health swap, and it's just so hard to actually harass this hero. He's full HP now. Oh, and then also he has the Enfeeble, of course.
Be fun. If he wasn't going for the Wild Axes before, I think this reminder is certainly going to say to him, hey, you better go for that Wild Axes build. He's not going to be unhappy about that, of course, but, Beastmaster already got to level 2, even after all of that brawling. So, certainly could be better for DeCarnage here, but certainly could be a hell of a lot worse as well. The Clockwork, in the meantime, is level 2 and is doing his fair share of pulling. The Skywrath Mage is limited by his mana pool and what he could actually do versus this Clockwork, and up against that Magic Stick, it is really annoying to just have all your harassment be erased by
Oh yeah.
fueling that stick. So it's either, I think, rotate this Tusk up here and try to stop him, or just let him do this.
You know, I was actually gonna say the clockwork in this lane I think loses to the PL Skywrath, but it just dawned on me that he can cut the creeps with total impunity in this game. So he really, I mean, Dota's in such a weird state right now with this creep pulling. I mean, unfortunately, he just screwed it up there, so he's gonna send a double wave into the PL. PL's gonna be happy about that, but he's getting XP. So there's basically, since they can't kill him on the creep cuts, there's basically no way that they can stop the clock from. He doesn't even have to lane. You know, he's basically not laning.
OD, he messed up. He does have a salve. I don't think that's gonna do it. He's not even gonna pop it. He just was trying to farm a little bit too aggressively, and they also catch the Nyx Assassin in the meantime. Unfortunately for Wisconsin, they lose the OD just beforehand, but you know, killing off a Nyx Assassin, that's whatever. Having a sniper solo kill the enemy mid in the OD, I mean, I guess that's what you would expect from this matchup. Sniper is typically going to have a great time, and they also catch not Zach on top lane. Looks like the Scarith Mage PL actually do get their hands on some targets after all. Now picking a fight with this Nyx Assassin, but Mumbo's a little bit banged up, needs some time to tango.
So yeah, I think if this clock sits in the lane against these heroes, Mumbo's gonna win this lane with Chem. Like, they're very easily gonna win this lane. I think the creep cutting is really, you know, what he wants to do. Unfortunately for him, he pulled it into the tower, so he didn't get a wave in front of his tower after he did that. So it actually was a bit of a futile effort, you know, cutting those creeps, because you just send a double wave into the PL, all of a sudden you're laning again, and of course he ends up dying. But yeah, with the sniper and the OD, solo kills matter so much more than okay. There's a Nyx Assassin going on the Scarith Mage. I don't think that the clock can catch up to him.
There's a Tusk coming from behind, though. They're going in really deep.
This is
Weiss
pretty
is
deep.
ready to wall something off right now. Who does he want to focus on? Zach is in a much more vulnerable spot, but he throws the shards instead towards the Nyx Assassin. Maybe that means that Zach escapes. Or not Zach. I guess I shouldn't be calling him Zach, but...
Is it Zach or is it not?
It's definitely not. But,
Okay.
you know, I don't really know if they would have gotten the kill either way. Yeah, it is still going to result in no kills, but they do somehow manage to force the Bane to come towards his top lane. So all of a sudden, bottom lane for DeCarnage, he's happy up against the Life Stealer, and this is the exact same situation we saw earlier with that Pugna.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing that happens when you rotate your supports out of that safe lane, especially to the off lane. Although Beast against Life Stealers, it is a melee hero. He's a tanky hero. Although I'm not sure who actually wins this lane with the Beast axis. It's pretty. Okay, Bane TP's in, which means Bane TPing bot is actually it's very good for DeCarnage, because he can tell his team, okay, Bane can't TP to the other lanes now. So, you know, OD could go on Sniper. Actually, you can see here that Skywrath is ganking the Sniper immediately right now. Knowing that the Bane TP'd bot and can't help here.
OD doesn't have much offensive power, but Shawnee's kind of feeling himself right now. And here comes the concussive. That's all the OD needed. In fact, it looked like he probably could have killed him by himself, actually, because the sniper just stepped up a little bit too far. But the bottom line is still going to be a kill on that sniper. Skyrath Mage getting his hands bloody, and he needs that experience, Skyrath.
That's a really good team call that they made just there, knowing that the Bane can't TP. I think if they do that and the Bane is around, or the Tusk is around, or sorry, the Bane is around or the Nyx is around, then it's a lot harder. But they know they have information on these heroes, and they're very clearly sharing it with each other. Because you could see the Scarith Mage immediately TP's mid, and they take the return kill on the Sniper, which is a huge kill. Now Sniper's actually level 6, OD is level 7, so that solo kill is kind of going the way of the dodo. You know, we're not seeing much of an effect from that anymore. And he's getting gone on again.
One more time. The shards are not going to miss. They do have to watch out for the impale. But the shards land plus the concussive and the snowball. Just a small mini stun there will be enough to get the kill. Tusk takes a couple tower shots twice. Is going to go down to the shrapnel. A little posthumous action there from the sniper. The Nightmare gets pulled back from the Skyrath Mage. Pulls back from the OD. They're just going to keep sleeving themselves into safety right now. Okay, and I think they should be fine. But in the meantime, not Zach is going to get doppelganged. And Mumbo, he's gone for the Lance build. That means he actually can't get this kill before the Shrine activates. He does have another one. That's not going to be enough damage.
Careful.
Needs a lot of right clicks here, but no backup is coming. Looks like Zach still, not Zach, will still get out of there. But still, man, this PL being able to bully out the opposition by himself, that's not something that we're going to see the Lifestealer do all that much versus the Beastmaster, at least not to that same degree. So
the axes are pretty damn good against the Lifestealer, I think.
So I would expect this lasting laning advantage to be in the Dire's favor until someone makes a great rotation.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think if that was Zach and not Zach, he probably would have died there. But not Zach is
Yeah,
much better of a player than Zach is. Honestly, I'm so sick of seeing Zach. He's like too over aggressive, and not Zach is just. I mean, the guy's just 1,000 times better.
definitely the right person for the team.
Exactly what I was thinking.
You gotta pick your players very carefully there.
You
Tusk,
can't have too many Zachs on a team.
it's too many, man. Just too many. Tusk is level 2. He's got to hide in this bottom lane. I'm not really sure Twice is going to have the same impact that he had in the last game, being this Tusk. He is going to see the Lifestealer. Shards maybe going to give to Carnage a little bit of space. Nope, just puts him in a snowball and dodges the Impale. The timing from Twice. I'm sorry, man. I'll eat my words. Still the Beastmaster, though, in a little bit of trouble. Does have some wand charges. Nightmare not going to really keep him held down long enough. There is another Impale here. They don't have an angle for it, and that snowball saves the Beastmaster's ass, and that's a 3-hero rotation, or I guess 3-hero move there from UMass that gets them absolutely nothing.
Twice is a god. Twice is a damn god.
Agreed.
And Nyx TP's mid. Now Beast gets some free farm in the bottom lane. I love the Soul Ring pickup on Beastmaster, although you can see with his HP, the issue of going for this Soul Ring now, it's pretty rough. You don't have a lot of HP to work with now with that 170 health for 150 mana. Oh man, that sucks. He needs Tranquil Boots or something. But I think he's doing pretty well with these axes up against the Snakes. And yeah, with the Nyx TPing mid, he's going to get a little bit more farm. The Sniper needs a lot of assistance in this lane. He's getting like hella focused by the Skywrath Mage, who's abusing the fact that this PL can just solo lane against the Clockwork. So really nice map positioning coming out from UWM, understanding their matchups really well, knowing that this OD doesn't win to the Sniper solo, and that they can kill him. Actually, the OD looks like he's going to potentially die here.
The Shrapnel's going out. The Impale's going to land. Couple more right clicks, and the Imprisoned is going to maybe buy time for a return kill, but he's for sure going to go down. The axes don't connect onto the Sniper. They will roll over the next assassin, and they have the shards, but it's not quite in the right spot. Nightmare, once again, going to get pulled back, and Assassinate will not kill off the Beastmaster. But in the meantime, not Zach actually died solo to Mumbo. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. So losing your OD, never great, but much like this game is actually playing out exactly like last game. It's still Wisconsin to get all these kills and exchanges elsewhere.
Yeah, Mumbo's looking like he's going to be a big boy in this game once again. He's yeah, but God, these games are so even in terms of like the kills and deaths in the laning phase. We're not seeing both of these teams very good at punishing when the enemy team is making a play. They realize that there's no TPs that can happen, so they can be very aggressive. For example, on this PL, like he dives the clock, knowing that since there's something happening on the middle lane, that there's absolutely no way somebody can come help this clock. Just abusing the fact that there's a cooldown on those TPs. Ooh, this
shot
OD
in
looks
though.
dead again.
It's up for not Zach, and they will find the OD. Snowball's gonna dodge the Assassinate. Can he survive? No, the flare's got him. And now Twice is also getting kind of caught by his own shards. They'll get them both. That is going to be pretty much everyone, though, going towards mid lane, but this time it is worth it. UMass getting that Sniper some safe kills. Man, Snowball saves, dude. Sometimes it's just not enough because, you know, it's just one hero, but goddamn, they've been on point.
We're seeing the effects of this Nyx Assassin versus the OD. The Spiked Carapace after the Max Astral, it's returning 325 damage to the OD, who gets immediately stunned afterwards, and then mana burn for about 300 HP. So it's like 900 damage that this Nyx Assassin is doing to the OD on that middle lane, and that's with the Astral too. So that's crazy amount of damage. Now Nyx is level 6 actually. So this is Nyx is heading over. Nyx goes for the stun. Beast has Roar. Maybe he can Roar and then...
Guards. Oh, walls off the Lifestealer?
Dude. What the... Twice is actually... Ever since you said, oh, it doesn't look like he's going to have quite the game in this game, he's been on point with everything. That's so funny.
And he didn't even need anything more than level 2 Tusk to do any of the plays he's been doing. He is needed over in the mid lane. The OD is in a little bit of trouble. He does have a self-imprison. Looks like no Assassinate because they know it's not really going to work out. There's still a level 1 flare. That's not enough damage to kill off the OD. Great move, but no kills twice. He's going to get jumped on over in the bottom lane still. There's a roar here from the Carnage. Snowball in towards the Bane, but he is so tanky. The roar goes off with the axes and the shards. He is going to stick up, though, and stay alive. But it looks like he will eventually go down, as now everyone is collapsing in onto that Nyx Assassin. One too many heroes there. They've also spotted your boy, but looks like with the Rage TP, he will get out to safety. This time it's going to be a 5-man rotation from the Madison side of things. Will give up a little bit of control over their top lane and their mid lane, but they already took down the top lane tower. That's the real difference here, is that the PL's kind of done. Like, he doesn't need to stay up there anymore.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's sending out a full diffusal blade on this courier right now. He is looking terrifying in this game. The thing is, Nyx is relatively even with him on farm, and so is Sniper to some extent. But both of these heroes don't do much against a PL at this point. So I think that PL can just kind of run at all of these towers and take fights with this diffusal blade, and it's very, very hard for UMA to fight this PL hero until they get some items, until they get the radiance, until they get a Maelstrom on Sniper. It's gonna be very, very difficult. But they can take the fight afterwards once they have those items.
PL's got the diffusal blade working down towers with it. The Nyx Assassin Vendetta gonna fail to kill anyone over in mid, though they will find the hook shot in, but Skywrath Mage turns around a lot of damage onto Notzak. They do get the grip onto the OD. Snowball is gonna protect him for a little while longer. Not a great spot, though, still is gonna imprison the Sniper. And it looks like they want to go for the hoo-hoo-ha-ha. Shani is going to get roared up, pushes the Bane to the side, will get them 2 kills, as the Sigil overhead is going to deny Bane any chance of escaping. Wisconsin will get the tower, get a handful additional kills, and that's the difference between, ganking Skywrath Mage and ganking someone perhaps like a Bane. You mess with Skywrath Mage, man, you better be ready to insta-kill him, or else he will mess up your day.
Yeah, that's one of the sad things about Clock vs. Sky, is that you just put yourself in this perfect little circle for him to drop his hammer in, and yeah, we saw it there. The Clock just exploded. Got the kill, but he exploded.
He's going for Blade Mail also,
yeah,
which is like, it's great to kill off the Skywrath Mage faster, but it's not going to save you, which is a problem. They are going for the Sniper. Beastmaster slowed down by the Impale, and Mumbo comes in from the side. Flares a little bit early, still does quite a bit of damage onto the Sniper, and they'll also pick off the Nyx in the process. Mumbo from over the trees. You did not expect that if you're UMass, and now they're going to lose yet another tower.
Yeah, this PL is he's gonna be an issue, and the Nyx doesn't have the he's got about 2,000 gold, and then he's got the Radiance up, a little bit less than 2,000 gold, and then I think that they could look to take a fight, but until then he's basically just got boots, so very clearly can't fight a hero like PL who's gonna have 2,700 net worth on him because he's actually spent it on the Diffusal Blade. They just cannot fight. They're going to need to fight with this Nyx's Radiance, and when they do, I think things will go a lot better for them. But until then, they're going to lose a lot of towers. They can kind of passively defend these towers with Sniper Shrapnels and not look to fight. I think that's definitely the play, to kind of like just poke but not look to fight, and then take farm elsewhere on the map, which you can see that the Nyx immediately TPing at a bottom, just looking to sack the tower and just say, screw it, we're going to just farm, get this Radiance up, and then we'll fight. I like that call because I think a team maybe with less experienced players might decide to just fight because of, fighting, and because they feel like there's pressure. But I think it's good that they're basically trying to abuse the fact the enemy team is 5-manning and getting good farm on the map.
Bane gets shredded by the Mystic Flare, and the Nyx Assassin is Carapace is not going to protect you up against the Snowball stun, because it's like the Snowball that stuns you, not the Tusk, and now he's going to get blown up as well. This is so kind of interesting to see Wisconsin play the exact same style as game 1 without a DK, without a Pugna. Like, this is not what I would call a pushing draft, but hell, they're going for it, man. They are applying all this pressure because they know that in a heads-up fight they are stronger.
Yeah, they're very good at
all the Sniper. Not again. Look at this time, the Skywrath Mage is gonna get hookshot without his flare, so he is very, very dead.
He's a dead man.
That'll just be that. But yeah, it still cost them a tier 2.
Dude, everybody's maxing this concussive shot now in Skywrath Mage. I like it. Because the arcane bolt, it doesn't scale very well, honestly. It's just the cooldown and the base damage, which is like, who cares about the base damage? You're doing so much damage from your intelligence, you know.
And it's also like it can do probably more damage, but like you're not gonna live long enough to do that. You might
True
as well
that,
just
true
get as
that.
much damage out as fast as you can and then die.
Yeah, that is true. Concussive shot into Mystic Flare or Ancient Seal. Like, you're gonna get like 2 Arcane Bolts off anyway during your Ancient Seal as a support. So you may as well just do the damage with the concussive shot, and then because the Mystic Flare really that's gonna be your primary source of damage in these fights. So yeah, I like this. It scales with the slow too. The slow scaling is pretty nice on the, like, it gives him an actual disable, makes him a decent hero. Definitely not broken, but definitely decent.
He did this
This
last game as well. He went for a seal, I think, afterwards.
Oh, I like it. I like it. People are going for the 8-second seal cooldown reduction too, and that's it reduces it so that you have 100% uptime on Ancient Seal, which is a little bit crazy. I mean, you need the levels obviously. Level 15, not a lot of Skywraths see that point early on in the game, so, but it's still pretty crazy. So they go for a smoke up here.
Sniper shows
Killing the
himself.
sniper would be huge. Oh, they have a Radiance on Nick, so they could actually take this fight maybe. He
Going
goes
for
for
the
the infest.
infest. Yeah, they do see the Hawk. Johnny knows that there's someone kind of in the area. Smoke is blown on the OD, but everyone else is still hidden right now. And they are going to go for that OD, but they're going to wander into a lot of heroes. Sentry just dropping the Invest Bomb straight in towards the OD, gets 4 snapped out, and they all clump up for the flare. Notzak does escape that, and they do get the grip off the Beastmaster, but everyone's going to put in the Snowball and saved for a little while longer, but no pressure's going out to the Sniper. They're all getting cleaned up here. Mumbo, I don't know how he escaped literally full HP, but everyone else from Wisconsin, they got absolutely demolished by that Invest Bomb.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want for that Radiance reveal. That's the draft. I mean, that's the draft. The thing is, they could have very easily lost this game if they didn't recognize that is their timing, but they did because they're good players, and they take the fight and they execute it almost perfectly. They get the initiation with the clockwork. They do the Infest Bomb. It's so much damage. They go on the OD, who's a huge target to blow up first. I think if OD doesn't get gone on, he's just gonna kill everybody with the stat steal. Even the life stealer, once the rage is down, the OD can be a huge problem, and he's going to save whoever they go on anyway, so they have to go on the OD. So yeah, perfectly executed team fight, basically, at exactly the right time.
Hurricane Pike on the Sniper on top of that Radiance. A couple side items here and there, the Blade Mail and the Clockwork, it's nice, but I think the real takeaway there is that Wisconsin can't really just muscle their way in anymore without first getting a pick off, getting those that true sight set up for the Roar. Twice going to get jacked up on top lane. This Tusk, baby Snowball, no, not even going to be in time. Will just die. Wisconsin now need to maybe reconsider, pushing that aggressively. I mean, you don't smoke up next to the enemy where an enemy mid tier 1 was, unless you think that you are very, very ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Maybe they need a couple more items, especially on this PL. Gets a little bit of extra bulk, and then Mumbo could actually jump into these fights and be safe in doing so. DeCarnage is in a little bit of trouble here. Notzak is pushing forward. Already used the hook shot, and with the shrapnel, they'll miss one. They don't have any more, actually. Is he just going to walk out of here? Looks like it.
Movement speed talent, boys.
30.
Nice, getting chased by a bug.
The concussive is going to slow down the backup, and now in the shrine, it's like, what's the point? What a fast hero.
Damn, dude, that movement speed talent. That's why Beast is a hero, guys. That's it. That's all it is. No, it's pretty good though. It's a pretty damn good talent.
That's also comparing it to 25% EXP, which is pretty ridiculous by itself as well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good talent as well. Although the movement speed on an initiation hero like this and a split pushing hero like this is so, the map control that it gives you is ridiculous, because you can be here, you can be there, and all of a sudden you're friggin' halfway across the map. In the time of the enemy team would not expect it. 400 movement speed on this hero is nothing to scoff at. This is really nice, and he has no wind lace either. He's just this fast.
Brown boots. We're in the bottom lane in the meantime. It is going to be UMass once again, looking like they want to kind of stick to these timings. Radiance may as well fight. It looks like they'll take a free tier 1 tower. It was pretty much dead anyway. Not Zach with the lifestealer inside of him, hoping for someone to defend this tier 2, but I'm pretty sure Wisconsin are just going to let this one fall. They know that at this point they can't, again, just go into a fight and expect to win it. So they'll just give away the free objectives and get some gold from other sources.
Yeah, I think the play for them is to smoke up with the Hawk and then blow up. I mean, honestly, oh, the courier actually ended up dying. Nyx Assassin, being a hero. I think Yeah, I think blowing up, they can honestly blow up almost anybody on the enemy team, and they're gonna have a decent fight. They just need to. I think if it's a pure 5v5, they're probably gonna lose at this point until PL gets some huge items, you know. Clock looking for the pick. Is he gonna hit it? No,
And he's too fast, dude.
He's a fast boy.
How are you supposed to kill him? First the Pugna, like most movement speed in the game, and then now it's the Beastmaster with the talent.
Dude, the Carnage is just a movement speed boy.
Without any movement speed items.
Yeah.
You usually need like Travel's Yasha drums to get this type of horsepower, but Zach is still chasing after him. If he blind hook shots, it's too late.
Damn,
no
dude.
one else is up here.
The Carnage, like, honestly, that's a very satisfying moment as an offlaner when you know that they're chasing you with, you're forcing their entire map position to be oriented towards you. You know your team is farming on that bottom lane during that whole time, and he got a couple of creep camps there, so you're pretty happy as an offlaner if that happens. I know it sounds, it's like min-maxing, but it really, really matters to force the enemy team into a position thinking that they're going to get a gank, and then they don't. Like, that's actually, and honestly, with Beastmaster, that's like the ideal thing that you want to do, although there's I mean, they should notice they're getting Radiance burned right now.
The Impale does miss, however, so the
Pretty
best
dangerous.
surprise is out, and now the Seal into the Nick Assassin immediately going to kill him off. Your boy's surrounded. He's going to try to go for the Carnage, finally, with the Radiance Burn, not enough.
Wow, that was ballsy.
Yeah.
That was ballsy.
First of all,
2v5.
sitting around there with Radiance and then just not immediately going, and now they're looking at the Bane. They lost their concussive to the Nightmare, so they can't go for more, but... And that immediate Hurricane Pike away from that Impale, and that just goes really, really quickly south for UMass.
Yeah, that was a botched initiation. Basically gave the enemy team the initiation. I mean, the thing is, it's like even if they kill the OD there, it's 2v5. That's just so ballsy, you know? Unless you know it's the OD alone, it's so damn ballsy, but they scouted the entire enemy jungle, so they should know that there was going to be 5, at least relatively close. Just very, very ballsy. I mean, that could be good sometimes, but definitely not in that scenario.
Shrapnel, passive defense, as you mentioned earlier, with Nick Assassin pushing the front,
Nice stun.
into the OD, lots of damage as well. He's going to get dropped before he can self-imprison. And they are going to commit really too far from this Tusk into a grip. Should be a second kill, as they're going to shuffle forward with not Zach, looking for Mumbo, but the Doppelgang's going to give him some freedom. And with the Illusions giving vision, stalling them up, looks like everyone else will be able to disengage away. Tower is going to survive just barely. But this sniper, man, I think these fights seem like they live or die for UMass, depending on whether or not their sniper has any space.
Yeah, and speaking of space, I mean, if he's given it, he's gonna, you give him an inch, he's gonna take a mile with this Maelstrom. I think that this is one of the good ways to deal with the PL. You have the Maelstrom, you have the Shrapnel. PL Illusions are gonna passively take some damage. You're gonna know which the real one is. You're gonna be able to either use the Nake Slow or the Bane Grip. Like, there's gonna be ways that they can isolate this PL with the sniper getting these items. And yeah, like you said, he's in the fights that he's getting space, he's doing a lot of damage, and it's oh my god,
flare
dead
snipe,
Nakes.
they got
What?
him! Oh my god, that is going to be a dead life stealer, and now the Phantom Lancer Illusions are running rampant on the supports, draining all their mana. This Skywrath Mage is going to not kill the Impale, actually, so he's going to survive for a little while longer, as Mumbo's going to go for the Clockwork, completely tapped out of mana, completely screwed. Nick Assassin TPing out will be fine. The Clockwork, though, not as much, so... How did they get the vision of that? Was that a sigil in the area? Oh, the bird, right? The vision.
The
And
bird.
Lightstealer definitely did not realize
And now they're
that he
taking
was
Roche
spotted.
themselves. What a turn!
Dude. Vision is pretty good.
Dude.
Beastmaster's a good hero.
Oh man, the Skywrath Mage just punishing the Nakes there. We see the counter. There's just no raging. It's well, I mean, maybe the Nakes would rage in real life because he's so angry that he got goddamn Ancient Sealed, but there's no using the rage, when you're silenced for 6 entire seconds. And I guess the takeaway from that is that it's just a pretty aggressive play to go take Roshan against these heroes who have the vision, who have the damage for inside the pit. The Skywrath, perfectly comfortable using his Ancient Seal, using his Mystic Flare from outside the pit, has these huge cast ranges, does a ton of damage. If you get bashed, which is exactly what happened, the Nakes just gets blown up. There's nothing that he can do. I mean, it's just Chem with the great positioning on the Skywrath Mage, just recognizing that it's a free kill on the most important hero, arguably, on the enemy team. ballsy to take Roche. I guess that's really the takeaway, is that you don't just go Roche against a lineup like this without expecting to be fought, you know.
He's gonna try to counter that
Manta, he's
deal
going
with the
Manta.
Manta style right now.
Oh,
There are
yeah.
a couple ways of actually doing it. Is Manta style the one that you would go for, right? Oh man, you answer that after this Nyx assassin dies, because he's gonna get rolled in on. Everyone else is gonna abandon him. But you know, you have BKB as an option. You have a Lotus as an option. Manta style, the way to go.
I like Manta. I think Manta with the Radiance is pretty good. Nyx loves the movement speed, especially because people go for that 35 movement speed talent and just play the kind of run around in a fight Nyx. Although actually this Nyx is kind of getting gone on here. Ooh, nice shards.
Oh, he's
my goodness.
completely
He's
trapped.
stuck.
They can't get in actually, so the shards are too good.
That was, dude, twice is too good, man.
Oh,
the OD
this OD is going in though, immediately into a grip. They're going to find the flare onto the sniper though, and it looks like with the lance coming in, he will go down. So sniper's off the table, although he's gonna buy back onto the table. Mumbo's chasing after your boy on the top side. This Lifestealer is once again gonna get torched by this Phantom Lance, who does have the Aegis. Double buybacks now out, as Notzak is gonna try to go for Mumbo. One more lance, he will go down. Looks like his backup is kind of all abandoned. He can still leave if he's... Is this in doppelgang range? I think it is. Yeah, he'll jump to the high ground.
He's so lucky.
And he's still in vision, though, because of the obs on this hill. He has Manta style to maybe dodge some damage, but oh, the headshots. Headshots are killer right now. He's still on the run. Vendetta. Oh, now he knows the real one. One Vendetta hit, and he's dead. It's going to be Wisconsin once again to push in a little bit too aggressively. The OD is... not really a hero like DK that can get away with that.
Although, if you look at the gold change from that was almost a full 5-man wipe, and only got 606 gold because the buybacks, the buyback gold penalty basically makes it so getting kills after that doesn't really do much for the heroes that bought back. It's just the XP. So the XP obviously benefiting UM in that scenario, but in terms of gold, it's not really... I'd say I'd be pretty happy with that if I'm Wisconsin right now.
You have to make sure, though, to not fight without their PL. They're still going to go in looking for the Roar Seal, and they will find it again onto the Sniper. He's down for good. Hookshot goes enough into the Beastmaster, but he's getting so much cover this time as the OD is running around untouched. He's not even going to die, this Beastmaster. They'll just clean up 3 immediately. Dude, Phantom Lancer, 15k net worth, get the hell out of here. They don't need you. Your team has evolved beyond the need of a core.
That's a TNC play right there, where it's like, all right, guys, carry's dead. Let's go fight, you know, because the enemy team, there's... The thing is, in Dota, there's like... It's all about, you know, expectations and the feeling that you get in the game of the enemy team. You get like a gauge of the enemy team. I would say that if I'm I don't think that we're going to get fought there. So maybe we position in a way where we're a little too aggressive. We're out of position. And that's exactly what happened there. They kind of had the... Because everything was pointing towards not really getting fought in that scenario. So UWM abused that beautifully and just go without the PL and just blow up the heroes who were out of position, who bought back. Now they're dead and they have no buyback for 20 seconds with the Beastmaster and a siege creep. A really, really good job abusing the fact that they know the enemy team is going to be out of position because they don't feel like they're going to get fought.
Master doesn't have that Necro pop just yet. And we'll get a tower. Or if they're going to go all in for the racks. Lifestealer is up. UM have the power they need to actually take this fight now. They'll once again start chaining back the Nightmares. The hookshot's going to catch on to 3, actually. Snowball's going to protect them all as Carnage is going to jump in, but gets pushed out immediately. He's getting chain stunned. Does get the roar after the Lifestealer. And they do have Mumbo, as well as this OD just going off. With the flare dropping onto Mind Super, they will be able to kill off the Bane. OD self-imprisoned. Does he have a Blink Dagger? No, he doesn't. So he's looking pretty dead right now as he gets shoved right back into the clutches of the Sniper. But with the Bane's, Skywrath's burst damage, we'll get the kill on another. Mumbo now on the run. Does have a heart this time, though. Does have a doppelgang out of the shrapnel. And these illusions are going to be very annoying. Looking for the impale angle. Nyx Assassin is too far away. Does land the Spirit Vessel, but I don't really think that matters. Notzak doesn't have another Force Staff, doesn't have another hookshot, and now Fresh Out is in a little bit of a compromised position right now. He's going to get silenced and immediately taken down. They've found the real Mumbo in the cage, but they don't know it. And now he's right on top of Johnny. This Phantom Lancer just going off, getting so much regen. Suddenly he's back up to full HP. All of his illusions burning the mana. Chasing now after the sniper, who's going to try to force staff away, but you can't escape the Phantom Rush. And they're going to find him in a corner. Not Zach is going to get chased down by the Skywrath Mage as well. Gets taken down.
Dude, 2v3.
Turnaround. That is going to be Wisconsin's win, and now they're going to go back in for the racks.
There's creeps pushing in bottom lane, and that's a double siege wave in the bottom lane, so... Yeah, ping's coming out from green. He wants the racks. Ping, ping. Yeah, dude, I would be pinging the hell out of my team right now to get that racks.
Has 50 seconds that he knows is completely safe because the sniper still has buyback on cooldown. Lifestealer by himself can't deal with PL, and with 2 siege creeps, this tower, I mean, even if they don't get it right now, it's like, who cares? Mumbo has backup coming in. Here it comes with the blink roar into the Lifestealer. Radiance is not going to save you up against this many Smurfs. He's going to get Nightmare for a split second, but that's not going to save him. He's down for 70 for good. Again, he also has no buyback. They throw out a net from the Beastmaster onto the Nyx Assassin. Looks like they're going to keep their eyes on the prize, however. This rack's starting to fall. This is going to be 2 sets in its entirety here for Madison, Wisconsin. And they are going to stick around, actually. And still, it's a full minute with no Lifestealer. Might as well take down some of these extra buildings. You have all this attack speed thanks to the Beastmaster and his goons. May as well see what you can do. Grab a tier 4 for the road. Why not? They do have to watch out for the sniper, though. Sniper in the fountain is not something you really want to be messing with right now. But the troll net, but right before he dies, keeps Johnny in place. They take the grip onto the OD. Twice looking for the snowball. Does grab the OD. Snowballs him a little bit more towards safety. BKB up from the OD as well. Just refusing to go down. They will kill off the Nyx Assassin. Not Zach going to force that forward. Oh, it's no, into the Eclipse. The OD BKB saves his bacon. And that's going to be 2 more kills, including the trap onto the sniper. They can't quite get on top of him. They're running dry on health, they're running dry on mana, but they're still sticking around, still cleaning out this base, trying to go for the force GG, just morale victory, and I think they may have it.
Oh yeah, they have a huge creep wave. Oh, that's a dead sniper. It's punched right in the face, right in the beard, right before going down. I think they just...
Open wounds, harassment.
They're just gonna win. They're just gonna throne right now.
They can't kill off the Phantom Lancer. Like, your boy's trying to kill off Mumbo. Clockwork tried to do something there, and he obviously didn't really find much success with that one. GG is called. Dude, 40, I think, attack speed from Inner Beast. You get a little bit extra from the, I believe it's the melee Necro unit that holds that attack speed aura. You're attacking really, really freaking quickly. And with OD and Phantom Lancer, your DPS just gets insane.
Oh yeah, I mean, even the tower DPS from these heroes that wouldn't traditionally be considered big, tower hitters, just because they have so much base damage on the OD for stealing the int, and then PL obviously with the highest agi gain in goddamn Dota. These heroes actually become crazy tower hitters. We saw them shred through the racks and through the towers there with that attack speed. Yeah, I mean, Beastmaster, such a complimentary hero in a game like this, and I mean, also with the initiations, he was just beautifully roaring the targets that needed to be roared, even without the PL. He didn't even care. He's like, all right, guys, we got this fight. I'm gonna roar the Nakes, roar the sniper, we're going to blow them up, and we're going to fight without our PL, and we're going to win anyway. And, yeah, just good calls all around from these guys, knowing exactly when they can fight, and, taking real good fights, despite, maybe not necessarily looking too good.
A couple of botched engagements here or there. That's just the sniper effect, right? Like,
yeah,
having a hero that is 100% reliant on being way in the back. I mean, if he's in the front, you're gonna not do very well as a sniper. But if you're in the back, you're gonna have a great time. We did see that several times in this engagement. But I don't know. It's hard to point at one thing that UMass Amherst did wrong. Like, it didn't seem like there was anything that was like really not working for them. Their hook shots were on point. Their initiation was great.
I think the draft was a tad bit of an issue. The Lifestealer didn't have quite the impact that you would want. Okay, to be fair, with this new build, you can do fine against a lineup like this, but we saw him get locked down so many times and just focused up by the Beastmaster, and then the PL would just spawn his whole army and surround the Lifestealer. He gets roared for the rage ends, and then the PL just shreds through him when the rage is done, because now the mana burn works. So I think that it was interesting to see the Lifestealer against all of these counters, but in the end, I think that it was just too hard for him to actually be very useful in this game, especially when Sniper's also countered by, relatively the same heroes. So it's like there's no saving grace if you take all the spells, because Sniper's just going to die anyway to these same heroes who have the lockdown for him, Yeah, I think draft-wise it was a bit of an issue, but I think these teams are relatively close. Maybe they look a little bit closer though, because UW-Madison, I said it before and I'll say it again, they play with a lot of balls. They play with a lot of balls, and I think they overcommit a lot of the time, and they sometimes feed like a 5-man wipe that doesn't necessarily need to happen. But I think maybe if they played a little bit safer, it wouldn't be so close. But it's hard to say. It did look close, kind of regardless though. So yeah, I think if you're UMass, just focusing on a little bit more, not really picking into counters. I think that's kind of a pretty big deal.
Guys, that's gonna mean that Madison are now 3-1 and basket that 2-2 tie score. We are not done for the day. We do have UC Davis going up against University of Colorado. It's going to be happening in about 30 minutes, so we get a little bit of a break there. You can try to find out their score. I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but should be, hopefully, a match that is just as even as we saw, even though this is a 2-0. Still, I would say I would classify these as pretty even games. This has been AVGL, guys, of course, brought to you by Respawn Products. We got Respawn chairs. I know Jenkins knows a little bit of something about the Respawn chairs, but they're gaming chairs. They look sick as hell, as gaming chairs are supposed to, and they're not gonna kill you in the bank account, because everyone knows $60 games every time. Dude, you can't afford chairs. I can't afford chairs.
They're genuinely comfortable chairs, and that's, I'm pretty picky about my setup. I'll tell you that much. I'm pretty damn picky. I gotta have I'll move my mouse pad to like the bottom left at an angle of like 3.5 degrees a little bit, just to get everything perfect. Or I refuse to play pubs. And I had no problem sitting in those chairs when I was at Moonduck, just because like you can change them to. I have terrible posture, man. Terrible posture. I'm not proud of it.
Dude, everyone just sat up straight right now.
Yeah, dude, don't. I gotta sit up straight, dude. It's not. Things aren't gonna be feeling too good in the backbone, when I'm 40. But those chairs, you can adjust them however the hell you want, and that was nice for me. I felt like I was at home.
Check out Respawn. You can follow them, Respawn Products, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or just at .com. You just want to look at all of their chairs in all of their glory. Again, guys, it's going to be UC Davis versus University of Colorado in 30 minutes. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Jenkins. If you enjoyed the casting, you should stick around. Also follow us on Twitter at Mike Loris for myself, at Jenkins Dota for my co-caster. Guys, we'll see you in about those 30 minutes.
Check this out. Let the rhythm run.
down, look in my eyes, tell me what you don't know. Hey now, put up a fight, I know how I won't let go. Hands out to the sky, we reach for tomorrow. Break down, look at your life, why you wanna be known. Head down, look in my eyes, tell me what you don't know. Hey now, put up a fight, I know how I won't let go. Hands out to the sky, we reach for tomorrow. No, we don't wanna die, we'd rather be alone. Are you the animal, cannibalistic missile, crashing all around? Are you the animal? Do you remember out on a limb you listen quiet all around? Are you the animal? I'm not afraid of you. I feel we're ready to die. But time is on my side. Feel it going inside me, but you'll never find me. I need my heart to make me whole. Hands out to the sky, we reach for tomorrow. No, we don't wanna die, we'd rather be alone. For now you can stay right here, we will play until somehow you can find a slightly different frame of mind. Right here in my arms, away from all harm, you'll be safe from all the flares, although I know you don't care. your shattered frame of mind. It's that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path along the lines with your shattered frame of mind. It's that you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. And when the light comes through, when that day isn't you, then it will be time for a new frame of mind. When all eyes are on you, you will know what to do.
guys? Welcome back to AVGL. We got the second best 3 on the day. CU going up against UC Davis. Aggies? Agies? I don't actually know what that is, but I'm Mike Loris. I'm joined here by Jenkins. Do you have any idea what that is?
I'm gonna call them eggies because I think
Eggies.
that's kind of funny. I might have been my grandpa or something, but he would call eggs eggies, and it's like, oh, that's cute. Weird. Is that weird finding my grandpa cute? All right, we're gonna move past this. So, college Dota going on. We're having a good time. Tiny gets banned. Brewmaster. I'm not seeing Brew get picked up a lot in Bucharest. It's interesting to see the college teams really favoring this hero.
It definitely seems like this is the patch where Brewmaster is okay, right? So it's like you'll always see him kind of mixed up a little bit. I don't really know if
He's definitely okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like first ban material or first phase ban
I
material.
don't know. I feel like you want to ban stuff like
Tiny?
Gyro and Tiny and Omni and Gyro not being banned. Honestly, dude. Okay, maybe this is like an offlaner bias because I absolutely hate playing against this damn hero. But I feel like if Gyro's in the pool, you just have to instantly select him. I don't know. It's just okay. Most picked hero in Bucharest with 55% win rate, 54% win rate. Okay, that's for being the most picked hero. That's pretty impressive, you know. Not having Shadow Shaman. That's a pretty good hero too. I mean, it's the thing is, it's like you don't necessarily want to first pick it because you're obviously revealing your carry. He's not really often played as a mid, so it's not like one of those flex picks, and it's not a Mario pick that can kind of be played in whatever role, and do okay even if you're countered. But it's still a really good hero, man. I'm so sick of that hero. I'm also kind of sick of Shadow Shaman as an offlaner too. He's like, the stun is just lasts so long. He can just kill you no matter what he's laning with. I feel like a Shadow Shaman Gyro would be just an amazing duo to pick here, especially because the Omni is banned, and that's like a pretty typical counter to the Gyro in the laning phase. Dark Willow, eh?
There aren't really many Gyro. I think the best matchup I saw versus Gyro matchup was Tiny. Like that guy kind of just like smashes everyone in the lane, but it's not going to be that just yet. It's going to be a Shadow Shaman, a Baden. As far as offlane heroes, I mean, he certainly is getting a lot more traction nowadays. Going up against Disruptor and Dark Willow.
I can kind of understand it actually against these heroes.
Dark Willow's Cursed Crown, you could just buff right off. Of course, you could unroot yourself or whoever in the
and the
maze
Disruptor
also.
Q as well. So this hero is going to do very well in this lane against these supports. However, at least when I pick this hero on the offlane, I'm always very, very careful picking it against the right carry, because if you're against a Razor or an Ursa or an OD, things can get pretty dangerous in that laning phase for you. And I mean, in the game as well, those heroes are pretty excellent against Abaddon. But yeah, very good against these supports. Probably they have an Abaddon player on their team. They're looking to just kind of cheese it with a specialty pick, which I can respect that, you know. I can definitely respect that. We saw a couple of weeks ago, Luki was playing this hero. I'm not entirely sure what team he plays on, but I know him from pubs, and it was another college team. They absolutely crushed with this hero, this Abaddon. But not even opting to ban the OD or anything like that, just allowing the Abaddon to maybe potentially get countered here, which is, if I'm an Abaddon player, I'm not too happy about getting OD picked against me.
Well, this is also kind of an enabler hero, this Abaddon. Like, we talked in the last game about, like, a draft opening that sets up for siege power, and Abaddon, as far as offlaner, is, you know, maybe not quite to the level of someone like a Brewmaster or an Omni Knight or, like, a Bat Rider, but being able to give your allies additional attack speed onto a tower is really, really powerful. I think that's, you know, part of the reason why we see this Terrorblade being banned out by CU here, is because they know that once you hit the tower once, have the metamorphosis go to work, like that tower is not going to last long. So yeah, Abaddon is certainly a hero that, even though he's played with a little bit more gold, like he itemizes with a little bit more bulk, more like a traditional core, he still is kind of at his core like a support oriented hero. So you could definitely like kind of sack your Abaddon a little bit if your other cores have good enough matchups and have enough farm.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Like if you were to buff an OD or a TB or a Death Prophet, one of these kind of glass cannon heroes, you can really, really cause some havoc in these fights because everybody, of course, tries to focus these heroes. Abaddon just puts the shield on them, and things get kind of confusing with, you kind of have to disable the Abaddon on the side while focusing that hero, wait for the Abaddon to be out of position, go on the Abaddon himself. There's stuff that you can do. But yeah, Abaddon being played as kind of the supportive run at towers hero, definitely very strong, especially with the Shadow Shaman who has those wards already preparing for a push. And oh god, if I'm an Abaddon against that Razor, I'm pretty upset because that hero's extremely good against the Abaddon in the laning phase and in the game because you can just drain him through his ulti, and you're going to get a lot of damage from that hero who likes to stay in melee range. So Razor, great counter against the Abaddon, and honestly, I wonder if they switch up the lanes and do some aggro into Razor. I mean, it's a little crazy to aggro into Razor, but Dark Willow Disruptor, not the absolute best at being aggroed into. Maybe they could aggro with the Luna triple range tri-lane into Razor and just crush them, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. It would depend on the offlane matchup.
It is kind of weird to see.
Ooh, it's a Willow mid.
Oh yeah, that's a core Willow. It is kind of weird to see an Abaddon picked up and then Razor either not already been banned or banned like afterwards, because Razor, you're able to just shock off the shield, and it's picked up for very similar reasons to why Razor is picked up versus Omni Knight.
Oh shit! I didn't realize you could shock off the shield. That's actually so good.
Yeah, I mean it's like a little bit RNG, obviously, but it's really bad for the Abaddon. So
yeah, but if you're diving him, like running him down under the tower, you're going to be right on top of him. He's going to pop that second shield to try to survive, and damn, you're going to shock it off as well as steal all the damage. And traditionally, before that was a thing, Razor was a lane counter against that hero as well. So, damn, that's really good against Abaddon, actually. I didn't even think of that, because the Oracle is typically considered an Abaddon counter simply because he takes off the shield. That's it. Now, Razor can do that, and he gets the drain, and he's great against these melee heroes in the lane. Damn, dude. It's going to be a hard lane for Abaddon. I wonder what they're going to do with the laning setup here. These are very high-skill players. I've played with a lot of these guys in pubs, like UC Davis. I recognize a lot of their names. They're objectively very good players, so I'm absolutely sure that they wouldn't just pick this into a losing matchup without having a plan at least. And thinking a lot about this next pick, maybe thinking, okay, do we want to aggro with the Luna into this tri-lane? Is that too dangerous? Throw the Abaddon mid? Just really considering what they're going to do in this lane, because yeah, like you were saying with that purge, I don't know if they want to lane the Abaddon against the Razor. That'd be really hard. He's gonna get shat on, to say the least.
Luna Shadow Shaman still with one more support to be picked up against Earth Spirit Disruptor, maybe one other core. I don't really see that panning out well for CU. Even like if it's a Razor, it might go decently. If it's a other core they haven't picked yet, it might go okay. But Earth Spirit Disruptor, these aren't really tri-lane heroes to the degree of Shadow Shaman Luna. So if UC Davis are able to match up that 3v3, have an Abaddon dodge a Razor in any capacity at all, then they can still make these lanes work. And now that's Sand King.
That's a good hero. That's an additional stun for that lane too. I mean, I really do think that the aggro is imminent here. Just with these heroes, these are killer heroes, to say the absolute least. And not only killer heroes, but they're level 1 killer heroes. And look at CU's tri-lane. Razor or Spirit Disruptor, not really great at level 1. Of course, they have the damage steal of Razor, but that's only complemented by other heroes who have Disable as well. But really, they could very easily blow up the Disruptor and the Earth Spirit, maybe even the Razor with the dual stun of the Shadow Shaman Sand King, the huge damage of the Luna Aura on top of the Shadow Shaman right clicks, the Sand King body blocks and right clicks. I really think that an aggro is imminent. Maybe I'm beating a dead horse here. Maybe they just have different plans altogether. They just want to pick a strong tri-lane. But I do feel like allowing this Abaddon to get countered and then picking a very strong tri-lane like this is indicating an aggro. And there's a Juggernaut. So, okay, mid-jug maybe? Because you don't want to lane a jug against a Razor. And there's still a counter pick. This is interesting.
You don't want to lane any of these heroes versus Razor. I don't think any of these are winning match. Maybe the Luna, like in theory, can outrun the Link, like sometimes, because she's pretty quick, but that's like seems like a disgusting waste. Juggernaut, Shadow Shaman, Sand King still is a not terrible lane, but we got CU picking up this Bristleback as their last pick. Kind of a little more of a rarer hero, but currently not going up against any break effects.
The Jug is going to do extremely well against this Dark Willow middle lane, I think. I'm pretty sure Lucky 57 is a pretty exclusively carry player, so he's probably be playing on the side lane. I don't think we're going to see an Abaddon mid. He would do fine against the Bristleback, And I think the Jug, I mean, can't he just spin off all of Dark Willow's abilities? And can he just spin in the Dark Willow's, whatever it's called, the Slark ulti, where she goes invisible? Like, he could just spin that. You
Yeah,
know?
he could.
That's
Anything the Dark Willow does, you could spin away from.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's a melee hero versus a ranged hero who he's going to have the Quelling Blade advantage and decent regen with that healing ward to survive the Dark Willow, the Dark Willow harass. Although the Dark Willow with her Shadow Realm ability, it's very good at killing that healing ward. So that is definitely something to consider in these fights. The Dark Willow can very easily just use that extra range to hit that healing ward. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, so Luna's going bottom lane. So traditional tri lane, I guess, just sacking the Abaddon.
We've seen a lot of dual lanes recently. We could still have some sort of duo setup. We do have a Sand King on the UC Davis side that does not have boots first, which I feel like is probably like a 90% of the time first pick. You'd want to be aggressive, kind of roaming around, landing those burst strikes. But
he has a stout shield.
yeah, with this build, this is definitely I'm going to sit in one place and kind of play as a traditional support kind of build.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that the stout shield works on the Quill Spray now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that a few patches ago, maybe like 7 or 8 patches ago, they changed it so that the Vanguard and Stout Shield block and Crimson Guard works against like the Razor ulti, DP ulti, and Bristles. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So maybe that's why he went for the Stout Shield, knowing that he's laning against the Bristleback. Maybe something like that. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting build.
Don't know. Let's find out real quick because I have the power of the internet.
Using the Google. Jug mid versus the Willow. Interesting to see the Willow going to pick up the rune and the Earth Spirit blocking, considering it's shared now. God, this defensive tri-lane here is going to be so deadly. So deadly. The Bristle's going to have a bit of a rough game, although he has supports to assist him because it's a Razor versus an Abaddon. So I like this play from the Dire, understanding that they have a very easy safe lane with the Razor versus the Abaddon, so they just send the supports to go elsewhere. That's definitely an experienced laning setup right there. They know this matchup, and it's gonna be pretty easy for the Abaddon, or sorry, for the Razor against the Abaddon.
Well, the Shadow Shaman gets spotted out right away. Bristleback, you can't really do much to save a Disruptor
definitely
from
dead.
This. Yeah, they get close enough with the Luna for the aura. A couple more right clicks, extra things
Ooh,
kind of
the
getting in
salve?
the way, and there is no finishing blow here. Quill's starting to stack up on the Sand King now, and this is a lot of damage. He will Burrow Strike away. That is the vast majority of his mana pool, so that is going to be Disruptor to survive just barely because of his scouting. Otherwise, could have been a pretty difficult situation, but worth noting that I think UC Davis probably could have just killed off the Bristleback there. Like, he's a tanky hero, but not level 1.
Not
you
level
need
1,
some
yeah.
points of the passive.
Yeah, that is definitely true, and actually, nice grip on the creep wave there, doing a lot of harass to the Bristleback, and he has a salve, so he's pretty okay, but he is running low on mana.
They also they see the glimpse level 1 instead of Thunderstrike also.
Yeah, that is definitely something that you can abuse fairly heavily. That Thunderstrike at level 1 does a ridiculous amount of damage. It does 160, which is kind of insane for a level 1 ability. So very unfortunate not grabbing that. How's this Abaddon doing up here?
He's not getting much, as you would expect, especially since the Earth Spirit is here. I feel like he doesn't really need to be here, but just battling for runes, I guess, doesn't get that
It's
one,
weird though,
unfortunately.
like, where do you go on Earth Spirit in this game? I mean, I'm not much of a 4-role player, especially the Earth Spirit hero, but there's not... Oh, bottom lane, actually, this Bristleback.
He's
He
just
has
dead to right clicks.
He is just dead.
First blood for Lucky 57, and yeah, as you said, like an Earth Spirit being there, would that really help? No, absolutely not. Can an Earth Spirit ever gank a Juggernaut? No, and they also caught Dappersaurus. Not see him get caught in that Burrow Strike, so Earth Spirit kind of seems like a hero without a home at this point.
That's kind of what I'm feeling like too. Once again, not a 4-role player, so maybe there's like courier snipes that you can do or some harass, but against the Jug, doesn't do much. Jug just spins, walks away, uses the healing ward. Abaddon doesn't really care. Abaddon is just going to use a Photic Shield unless you can kill him with the Razor. I guess top is really the only place that he can be, but it's still he's laning against an Abaddon, And the thing is, I feel like Disruptor doesn't really have a place now either if this bottom lane is just feed central. Like, Disruptor is just going to feed even more if they're not winning this lane already. It's almost like I feel like they should just focus on killing this Abaddon with the Disruptor and the Earth Spear. I think that would do something. I think they could kill with that. And then the Disruptor actually doesn't even have his Q yet. He's still got the kinetic field at level 2.
This is not a build on Disruptor that can actually like fight and do damage. He does no damage at all. But it is a good build if you're working with someone who does do damage, like that Razor. Like if you have Glimpse and Kinetic Field, both of which the Abaddon has absolutely nothing to counter, then he's just dead, even without the Unstable Current, which I'm a little bit surprised Razor doesn't have right now.
Yeah.
At least 1 point of, but I think this is a doomed laning setup for CU right now, because I mean, they're getting absolutely nothing done with this dual lane. They're committing 2 years into this bottom lane, and what are they getting away? Like, absolutely nothing. And they might even lose the Disruptor here. Luna is pretty swift. The Earth Spirit's going to arrive, kick the field goal right there, and they will catch the Sand King. No, not quite. Does Burrow Strike right out of it. Now the Earth Spirit's on this bottom lane, but now they're fully committed to this bottom lane, and I still don't know if they can get anything done.
I mean, yeah, I really feel like the play is to... The thing is, when you're in a lane like this, they could have done this tri-lane early on, right? When you're in aggro versus aggro, well, when you're in tri-lane versus tri-lane, like, you lose a couple kills here or there, enemy team gets a little bit more regen than you, a little bit more levels than you. The way that the scaling works is that you're just going to be screwed if you keep laning there, you know? So you got to ditch it, like... But it's weird because this Abaddon's getting a decent amount too. I mean, he's getting a decent amount of levels, but oh, they're just dead on this bottom lane again. It's feed central. Like there's no point in even being here. Just the Bristle should...
is also dead. It looks like shocked to death. This is not a situation where you try to salvage the lane. This is a situation where you try to abandon the lane.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can't add more heroes and expect a different outcome.
I do like the way that they recognize that Razor's going to lane well against the Abaddon, but I don't think that you take the support's top because you want to shut down the Abaddon, because I know they're thinking, oh, Abaddon already gets shut down, right? But the thing is, for their game, they should go top to kill the Abaddon, to get farm for their supports. It's not about shutting down the Abaddon, it's about not feeding on those heroes and actually having a place. But now they don't have one. Like, they just keep going to this bottom lane, and Bristle's level 2. Bristle's level 2 to the Luna's almost 5. This is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, and I definitely respect the fact that they made that choice early on to go for that that lane setup. But yeah, it's not good for their game. It's just not doing too good. Razor's level 6, Abaddon's level 4. That's all right, but I feel like Abaddon could be feeding right now, and Disruptor and Earth Spear could have a game as well.
Meantime, the Dark Willow has used several Shadow Realms to kill off healing wards, so it's definitely a thing that's been done. But unfortunately, is gonna have another Shadow Realm.
Man,
so maybe
that's free gold.
fortunately, untargetable by the Shadow Shaman cannot do anything. And, oh, Chocobo is being chased down by the Earth Spirit. Plasma Field, not enough range. They do place a Dire Obs up on the high ground, but the Earth Spirit runs into a Juggernaut. Fancy meeting you here is going to go for the spin, blocks the rollout, doesn't get the bounty rune, but gets the kill.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that you could block that spin while Blade Furying. Cool. I guess it's just
weird interactions.
Yeah, I guess you can hit magic immune units, it just doesn't apply the slow. Ooh, Willow uses the ulti on mid.
Yeah, cooldown isn't that high, all things considered, but I mean, it's just a like a hook shot. Like, the cooldown isn't that high, but you really want to use it for a kill every single time. And now she's gonna get hit with a crit double damage on the Omni/2. Yeah, I'm not like Bedlam really would have saved you there.
Shadow Realm would have saved him, but Jug knowing the cooldown of that abused the fact that he had just used that. So Jug probably plays a bit of Dark Willow himself. Otherwise, I don't think he would have been able to time that. Disruptor's just trying to get what he can get. Bottom lane, Bristle's still level 3. Yeah, this is shaping up to be pretty disastrous for Colorado, man. Really, this aggro tri-lane, I think, or this aggro dual lane that they did hurt them a lot. Just because they're aggroing into such a deadly lane.
In dual lanes, I think most of the time with Sand King probably being some of the more successful dual lanes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't think we've seen any with Bristleback that have actually done anything.
Bristle Coddle is good, but...
That's decent. Actually, that's really good. They're going to catch the bad enough towards top lane, drain out all of his damage, get the kill. But Zycon is here looking for a return kill into the Earth Spirit, but this Razor took so much damage away from the Abaddon. They will roll in a little bit too far, maybe. No, the Earth Spirit chugs down the south and will survive the tower shot, so they get a double kill up towards top lane, but it's going to cost them the bottom lane because here comes the power of the moon. The Eclipse is going to drop onto both of them. One more beam to seal the deal on that Bristleback. That is going to be a 2 for 2, although maybe not done just yet because Jug has an Invis rune. He sees that they're going to Shrine, can't do anything
Razor's
about
so
that.
tanky. He wants the Razor kill because he's basically the only saving grace for Colorado right now, but he knows that he can't get it. I mean, it's just unrealistic, especially without that Omni Slash.
He's
Jug going
go
for a Battle Fury.
I think this is one of those games where as Jug, you could actually just go for whatever you want.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's top of net worth and he's relatively soloing this lane, so he's just he's honestly, the thing is when you're like soloing a lane and you have this much net worth, it's so much worse for the enemy team because you have all that XP too. So he's like God mode this game. You know, Lucky 57, he's doing well, but he still doesn't have the levels that the Jug has. Jug is a tremendous terror in this game. Like you said, he can basically do whatever he wants in this game, and he's going to do it with total impunity. Whereas Lucky 57, he doesn't necessarily have the levels. So he does have the net worth, but not the levels. So it's yeah, Jug is pretty happy right now. Could basically do whatever the heck he wants.
The
Battle
Earth
Fury
Spirit is going to get caught. Does land a two-man kick. Rolls slowly down to the low ground, but will get away. This is I feel like for CU, this is bad, but it's not like impossible to salvage this. But they're just not playing in such a way to salvage this. They have to get their Razor involved with the Dark Willow and start to hunt for kills. I feel like if they do that, get the Bristleback a little bit of space, then they could definitely bring this back. But losing a Dark Willow to an Omni Slash and a spin, that is not how you recover from this deficit. They need to group up the Dark Willow and Razor and start moving.
He is a monster at this point. Solo killing the enemy mid? Oh god, you know, in a pub, like, you know, if your mid solo kills the other mid, it's like, we got this. Like, you know that you pretty much... It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary to have your mid solo killed by the enemy team. Let's just say that. It's not like unrecoverable, but it's some scary stuff. Because you know that not only is he getting the gold for getting those kills, which you would, of course, get if it was a gank, but you're getting the levels that... If you look at the math on solo kills, it's ridiculous the amount of levels that you get. Dark Willow is level 9. Jug is almost level 11. He's very, very close to level 11. When he gets that level 12, he's got that level 2 Omni Slash. It doubles the damage. It literally doubles the damage.
We'll dive for the Abaddon. Now we're starting to see this Abaddon having a little bit of difficulty, but he's already hit level 6 compared to the still 4 of Bristleback. And I mean, it's especially bad when you have a Dark Willow getting picked off. Like, if you have a Death Prophet or something, or a DK, it's like, you know, you're not happy about it, but you can still use your ultimate and do something for the team. But Dark Willow is like, you got terrorized. That's it. Extra Thick is going to feel once again the power of Eclipse. They also see this Disruptor, one beam, and that's hit really hard.
Damage, look at the damage.
And one more beam should set up for a shock. Okay, just a shock, that'll do. And they will
back into the Dark Willow,
back into the Bedlam, and it will kill off Pig. I don't know why I say PIG. I think there's a StarCraft player named PIG, I think, way back when.
Well, it is in caps.
It is in caps, that is true.
Maybe it's an acronym.
I'm not gonna think of those right now. It's definitely not happening.
Dude, EXTRATHICC is actually farming up a stack here. Stacking up again this they try to stack it again. Just say everybody's name like as acronyms. They're in caps.
You could do that.
I'll do it, man. Or yelling. Caps means yelling on the internet. I learned that the other day.
How to type on the internet really loudly. Dappersaurus is in a really bad spot right now because there is a Hex with his name on it. Shocked, and where's the Shackles? Like, no Shackles. Ooh, and a nice 3-man kick. They do put up the field. Not going to do all that much because the Juggernaut comes in and seals the deal. They will lose their Sand King for it, but here comes the Juggernaut right through all of the Dark Willow's abilities. Straight onto the Razor. And we'll take a lot of damage there. Although the Blast Field's going to return a lot of fire back onto the Jug. Now the Abaddon's in the mix of things as well. We'll throw out one more Miscoil. And, well, the Razor's shocking him down, slowly pecking him away. The shield is out of range, and the Juggernaut needs another spin. He has another Omnislash coming in as well. They will fear the Abaddon, but he's running straight to freedom. And the Omnislash bounces to the Razor to the Dark Willow, gets them another one. The healing ward drops, and the Razor has to TP out of here. That wasn't as clean as it could have been for UC Davis, but man, they still clean house.
Yeah, I think they would be happier if he picked up the kill on the Razor because, like I said, he's kind of the saving grace for the Dire team right now. He's
Oh my
kind
god,
of
bot.
Oh, well, that's a tier 2. That is, I guess, what happens when you leave a Luna to do whatever she wants for 5 minutes. This hero, no slouch at pushing, will take all of your towers if you leave her alone. And Mask of Madness plus Dragonlance at this point. Lucky 57, high skill player by objective standards on US East. I believe he's a top 100 player, so he's definitely a player that if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile, and we just saw it right there.
They're going to spin down another on the top lane. Simple Shadow Shaman Jug combos, disable them, spin them, easy kills.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah, and now this Luna is maybe going to get a little bit of help. So far, kind of being a lone wolf on that bottom lane, at least after that last fight, but now she's got an army and a half rotating towards her. Dire Scan is good. It's going to stay red. We'll let them know that there's something up, but unfortunately, it's still going to cost them this tower, and what are they getting elsewhere? Dude. Extra Thick is almost got something that looks like a Vanguard.
He's only level 6. Oh, I feel so bad for... I've been in this scenario where you're on Bristle and you're just expecting the aggro to go so well, where you're just like snowballing so hard that you don't really commit to the stacks or anything like that, but God, what a rough game for him. This can happen on Bristle, man. This happens. This is what happens when your aggro doesn't go well.
Back like versus all those heroes is kind of like a slow laner, if that makes any sense. Like he doesn't really kill people by bursting them down. He kind of wants the lane to kind of drag on, just spam out the quill sprays. Up against a Sand King, Luna, and a Shadow Shaman, like
they
that
can
is
burst them.
Hugely bursty. Like they're just in such a mismatch there that
Yep.
You're in a really rough spot.
And one thing to consider is that they get the wand charges every time they kill him, so they're getting even more mana to burst him when he comes back into the lane. So just a really good lane counter to Bristleback, I suppose, is just bursting him down and using the mana that you got from bursting him down to do it again as soon as he comes back, which is exactly what they did.
That's all the mid lane, all the bottom lane taken out. Tier 2 top lane still fully healthy right now, but EU, they haven't done anything assertive, and I don't think that's because they're not trying to. I think it's because they just don't have the right experience levels or gold levels to actually do it.
Yeah, they know that they need to just take the space right now, get a couple of items online, and then try to fight on like another power spike as opposed to fighting while they're still this powerful. And the enemy team, clearly with all these towers being taken, they're getting power spike after power spike after power spike with each item getting picked up. Speaking of power spikes, actually, the Dark Willow picking up that Blink Dagger is pretty strong, but oh my good god, look at this Disruptor's levels. It is 16 minutes, and this boy is level 4.
Look at this Jug. Like, he is pushing a tier 3 by himself. Omni slashing. 3 heroes. Gets one of them. Glimpsed back is going to do about nothing. Spin is a little bit late. We'll just start to TP. They have no interrupt for this. Just pushed to tier 3, got a kill, and then left.
Yeah, I'm glad he's playing like this, because we were saying how he can do basically whatever he wants in this game, and he is showing us that is absolutely true, and that he knows it as well. Just like at their tier 3, almost tier 4, kills somebody, just spins out by himself. And Abaddon actually has his Helm of Dominator, so it's a supporty hero, exactly like you were talking about. I think he's going to function pretty nicely in this game, buffing up those heroes that did have a good laning situation. You know, he's going to be able to get back into the game by virtue of them being so damn strong.
1,200 gold. It's not too infeasible to just pick up a medallion, a solar crest type of item, and then just Vlad's, and then just sit in the middle of the fight and just not die, or take all the focus and die. In which case, your allies are definitely killing the opponents.
Yeah, no, that'd be perfect. Although I think that he can just sit behind and looks like he is, because I think his team is actually tanky enough that he can buff them and they can take the focus, and he can get a little bit of levels from, you know, successful team fights. But I do like the idea of a medallion, actually, because I think that the next objective is Roche and then high ground. So I think a medallion is great, but although Vlad's is obviously excellent for that as well. Do they have a medallion on anybody else? No, they have Glimmer on the Shadow Shaman. Sand King's almost got his Blink Dagger up. Yeah, I don't know. Medallion or Vlad's. They're both pretty much equally good against Roche, because the lifesteal is good against Roche, so is the minus armor, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what he picks up. I like that he's walking around with clarities in his inventory. I know it looks like these might be residual clarities from the laning phase, but Abaddon is actually a hero who really needs that mana, but you don't necessarily want to pick up a Soul Ring anymore, or even drums, you know? He's just got the Dominator for regen, so clarities will help him stay in the line of battle
the
for a little bit
Eclipse
longer.
and the Force Staff right on top of the Disruptor. Not like he had Static Storm anyway, and now they're all clumping up for the Glaives to start shredding them. Lucky 57 is taking a little bit of damage. Terrorize is going to come in, but it's a little bit late. They've already lost 2. They're going to leash down the Luna and start to work on her, but the heals from the Abaddon going to give her a second wind here. She's able to get out of there. Burrow Strike also lands in the Dark Will, who blinked in coincidentally. Lucky 57 is still alive. And there's your Sport Abaddon right there. The shield is on Luna, so this Shadow Realm will not kill her off. In fact, it will be the Dark Willow to fall. And that is why you pick up an Abaddon. So you can do stuff like that on your glass cannons.
Yep, that was really showing off what Abaddon can do there as kind of that supporty buff hero. Jeez, did that Luna... They thought they had her so many times. Oh, that is a GG call at 18 minutes.
I don't blame them.
They have 1,000 net worth for every minute in the game, and Jug is just level 17 killing a level 4 Disruptor. What a ridiculous, like, microcosm of this game, honestly, is seeing that last kill there. What a stomp, honestly. I think, I don't know, it's hard to say. I think there's obviously a skill differential here in terms of the experience of players on both teams, and then also with the aggro going so damn poorly. They had the saving grace of the Razor, but does it matter when it's going so poorly in the other lanes? What can a Razor do? You know, nothing. Can't do anything.
Razor can only link one guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then, it's like Omni Slash doesn't care, doesn't really care. Luna Eclipse doesn't care.
No,
Sand King
no.
just picked up his Blink Dagger, used it once, and then the game ended. So that feels kind of bad if you're an SK.
Oh, rough life.
Yeah,
Rip
but
and pepperonis. Sure, he's pretty happy.
I
about
think
that
you
game.
said it. I think this is not a game where you could say like, oh, it's this draft or it's this laning thing that really went wrong. I think it's just like may have a little bit of a skill mismatch here. So, and
We
I
can
always
look at
say
the ranks.
if you have a mismatch,
Where's the
you
ranks
gotta
at?
cheese them somehow. You gotta find a way to sneak a Broodmother in or a Huskar or something along those lines and try to win because of those really weird heroes.
Yeah. Okay. So Jug is a Divine 5 player, but I think he's recently ranked. I don't think he's just Divine 5. Lucky 57, ranked 400. Pig, ranked 500. Abaddon is Divine 1. So all Divine high skill players versus a couple of legends and ancients, which is definitely good in terms of comparing to the average. But these guys on UC Davis, like they're good. They're objectively very good. So. Definitely a bit of a skill mismatch, experience mismatch. We'll see if CU can cheese in the next game to kind of bring it back.
Guys, there's game 1 of a best of 3. CU going up against UC Davis. Don't go anywhere. Myself, Mike Loris, and Jenkins will be right back in just a little bit.
but it's living off the hype. They got no longevity in the game, they got no stripes. No longer social in person, they live on social media. So social skills are not working because they live for likes. It's all a make-believe world, but they love living in a bubble. Stay scrolling and reading all the BS you type. Just for attention, a couple shares or a mention is meaningless, but it's like nobody wanna deal with real life. I spit that real life, say what's on my mind. I will not pander to the climate of the deaf, dumb and blind. Never dumbing down my bars, only realness in the lines. You will only hear the honesty and passion in my rhymes. I'm staying connected cause I perfected my art form. This show I directed, calm and collected, rated, respected, stayed on course and never deflected. Flow like electric, I'm gonna set this off, no apology. I move metric, yeah man, I'm still moving imperial. My techers are moving hectic.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to AVGL. We got game 2 between UC Davis, Eggies, and CU Buffs on the way. Game 1 was something that I'm sure CU would rather just forget about. It was quick, it was one-sided, a lot of problems for the CU side. So here's hoping that we turn things around and have a little bit of a closer series. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Jenkins for this second game. I don't know if how often is it that you're in a best of 3, you get steamrolled, do you just stick to your guns? Like what's the game plan there?
No, you don't. You completely change things. I don't know. No, I don't think you stick to your guns in this scenario. At least from my experience, I tend to be more of a risky player / drafter. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but typically if I feel like a game went that poorly, I'll pull out a Pudge or a Broodmother or something really, really cheesy, completely change the way that you play, pull out a split pushing draft, maybe do an aggro tri-lane, although that didn't work in the last game. Basically switch things up to the point where you know that the matchup's not going to be neutral or the same as it was in the last game, because clearly when that's the case, there's at least a team strategy differential here of the Eggies were very, very capable of executing to a high degree of there's a big skill difference in the lanes, to the point where it's like out of the laning phase, it doesn't even matter what happens. It's just like a 7k gold lead as soon as 15 minutes is over, as soon as the laning phase ends, and winning a game of Dota after that point, it's not impossible, but why put yourself into that scenario again, So I think some cheese is likely to come out now, unless they're feeling very, very confident in their play. But something like that, I mean, that can shake your confidence, That can for sure shake your confidence.
10 seconds remaining.
Davis, they're going to pick up a Clockwork as their first pick. If I'm UC Davis, the thing I'm thinking is, okay, we're better than these guys. Let's pick up a fast draft. Let's end this in 15 minutes and call it a day, because there's no point in just sitting around doing nothing all the time.
That's exactly what you think. I think well, at least from my previous experience, like when you feel like you're a lot outskilling a team, in terms of just your players, your skill level. Yeah, I mean a push strat, something that's really hard to deal with unless you're like a very, very what's a very like a team. Okay, that is some cheesy stuff going on. Phoenix Omni. So that's basically what you would expect from like a cheese draft, just starting out with a big old Firebird and an old man with a hammer, So yeah, I think you're right though. I think you're right with if you're UC Davis, you're just like, okay, we're a lot better than these guys. So let's just pick something that's really, really hard to fight into, win the lanes, run out all the towers. They're not going to be able to do anything because we know that we're going to gain such an advantage in the laning phase. If we just pick something that they can fight, that can take towers, it's over. It's a pretty secure way to. Why try to do something that, okay, it's not that great at fighting, so we'll need to outskill them in the mid game. Why even bother? Pick something that's just super easy to fight, super easy to lane, and of course that's great against the Omni Knight in the laning phase. You can just kind of take your snowball lead, run out all the towers. If they try to fight you, you just fight them because you have an advantage because you outskill them, and it's just easy game, no risk of losing. Unless, of course, you are against a cheesy Phoenix draft, then I have no idea what to say, because who the heck plays this hero in this current patch? It is pretty rare. Although he did get buffed a bit in the last patches.
I think I've seen OG run Phoenix a non-zero number of times. I feel like I've seen Fly run him. I feel
Fly
like they also
is a Phoenix obsessor.
They also definitely lost that game, by the way.
Well,
like, I'm pretty sure they lost, but even
sense.
outside this Phoenix, you have Omni Knight, which is usually a great hero. He's a great hero until there's a Razor on the other team. Exact same situation we saw in the last game of how Razor just absolutely stomps Omni Knight, stomps the Abaddon. This is a pretty risky opening for CU, but I mean, that's what they signed up for, right? Phoenix as a support, it looks like, is a hero that needs a lot of time to get to his full strength. Is one of the best supports in the game once everyone's level 20, but good luck getting there.
Yeah, Phoenix has never really had issues in the late game. I was going to say scaling into the late game, but that's particularly what his issues are. The issue is that to get to that point where you're very, very useful is you a lot of the time lose it. You never can gain an advantage because Phoenix is so weak until that point that you don't get to that point. And when you do get to that point, the enemy team is so far ahead of you that it doesn't matter that this hero is relatively strong when you get to that point. So yeah, it's a tough pick. I would honestly like to see them do something like an Omni Knight support, and well, that's not happening. But
mass healing into Huskar?
That could be good. Oh, ooh, dude, good call actually. Good call. They have 3 healing heroes that can just buff the heck out of one boy. Which boy is it?
10 seconds.
Is it the spear throwing boy?
Possibly. I mean, the bad thing is that still AA is in the pool, and still it actually looks reasonable for UC Davis's draft, like Clockwork
Oracle's
AA.
like an AA counter though, because the you can't shatter through, like you get all the healing through the Oracle ulti.
Yeah, but it's also like, I mean, Oracle, like he does have that interaction with the Ice Blast. You have to like time your false promise properly, otherwise you can still shatter.
Oh yeah, and I think with armlet toggling on Huskar, actually, you do lose the HP when you toggle. So technically, he would go below 10% HP. Although, I guess why the heck would you toggle while your Oracle ulti? I suppose. Yeah,
There's also like just Vessel nowadays. It's like that's the reason why we don't see some of these like mass healing
Oracles,
type of strats, because like you just slap a Spirit Vessel release, whatever it's called, on them, and then it's like, well, nice healing. You're no longer getting any health from that.
Although Vessel is actually kind of crazy on Oracle, because you put somebody like at low HP. Vessel does more healing, I believe, when somebody's lower HP. It's like a percentage thing. So you get like this super, super ultra buffed Vessel HP regen because you're ulting somebody. They're going to be stuck at low HP. The Vessel's going to do that additional healing, and then it doubles. So I mean, I still like it against AA, man. I think honestly, I would love to see a Huskar pick, and I think that's probably why UC Davis is waiting right now, because they're like, okay, we know something weird is coming. What do we pick? And a Witch Doctor pick, that's a pretty regular hero. Honestly, it's decent against Huskar because his physical damage and Maledict is hard to dodge. The Cask bouncing around all these kind of healer buff heroes would be pretty nice. The physical damage mainly is great against Huskar, but I don't know. I feel like if CU does a Huskar, then UC Davis could pull out a Broodmother or something like that. Okay, so OD pickup. I guess they're just gonna buff the heck out of an OD. That's pretty good too. I mean, Omni OD is a classic combo. You just put the Repel on OD. OD loves having a BKB. Doesn't really build into a BKB until like second or until like third, fourth item usually. So Omni with the OD allows him to build into kind of less defensive items. He can go Blink, Hurricane Pike, do a ton of damage. Oracle OD, exact same thing. Oracle loves buffing up these glass cannon, kind of will kill everybody if kept alive heroes. TP OD, Death Prophet. Nyx Assassin, that is a pretty obvious counter to the OD, but maybe not so much against Omni Oracle OD.
a lot of defensive power to actually get through. It's going to give UC Davis a little bit of initiation power, and that's really important if you're trying to go all in on one guy to be able to pick off either that one guy or some of his supporting crew. So this assassin is reasonable. I think there's a non-zero chance that we still see that Huskar being banned out because that's still one of those things that could be picked up from CU. And Nick Assassin is not good versus Huskar really at all. So it seems like CU are working with still a lot of power, and this is after also keep in mind like picking up Phoenix first. It hasn't really like changed UC Davis's draft in any meaningful way. Like this is still a normal looking draft, but they're getting away with what looks like the cheese draft that they really want. And there's a lot to be said from that. I don't know how practiced they are in doing something like this though. It's not something you bust out every day.
Oh, there's the Huskar man. Ripping pepperoni's Huskar strat. Although I don't know how much I like having two heroes that you want to buff on your team, like because this is the Nyx counter. So I feel like if they buff the Huskar, Nyx just deals with the OD. If they buff the OD, well, then they have a bunch of physical damage to kill the Huskar. But in any case, they still ban it because it's like, why even bother? Why give them that cheesy strat? SF, I think SF is a hero who does amazingly against OD, one of the few. And then a CK. I think CK is good in this game.
CK seems pretty good. There are
the cask.
A couple of issues. The cask being probably the biggest one. The fact that you're going to have to run up against Cogs. Shadow Fiend has a lot of AoE. But, being able to just jump in and annihilate a Witch Doctor, you could pretty quickly do a Nyx Assassin if you land a stun. Razor as well. It's a perfectly viable kill. So, CU, it looked like a really cheesy draft, honestly. But ultimately, it hasn't really ended up in a really cheesy spot. Except for that Phoenix, like, this is more or less normal.
You know what they might have done? They might have just picked everybody their best heroes. Or like what heroes they want. I know that's a pretty typical thing to do if you feel like you're up against a team that's just a lot higher skill than you. A lot of the time you can just be like, okay, let's literally just play our best stuff and we'll just see how it goes. Like I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I've seen that happen a lot of times before. Somebody's like, oh, just pick me Phoenix. Okay, pick me this. Like that's definitely a decent way to kind of get back because maybe they can beat these guys if they're playing, their best hero. That's definitely possible. Like if they have like hundreds of games with all of these heroes. Oh right, they have I just realized that UC Davis, of course, has the clock SF combo. That's that's
something we kind of missed in the midst of all this talk of cheese. They've failed to do it the first time. Oh, they're starting at 6 and working the way up.
Oh, I've never seen that one before.
Yeah,
Everybody starts at 0 or 12.
Yeah, I've only seen that also. You guys are forging the meta right here. Like, this is the new age of Clockwork SF.
Yeah. Dude, they're starting at 6 every time.
The thing is, though, is that you never get clock in SF, so it really doesn't matter. Like, this is something you very, very rarely see nowadays because people have caught on to it.
Yeah. Look at this clock build, the item build that he has. Isn't that interesting? Same thing as last game, just building some off lane punish, but like a weird. He was the Sand King, right? And he did. Was he the Sand King? Chocobo? Yeah,
I think it was. No, it was actually Zycon, the Witch Doctor.
Or wait a minute, what am I on? It was the Witch Doctor. Okay, Chocobo was the Abaddon, right?
No.
Yeah, he was.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the Abaddon. So Pig is Pig playing off lane?
What the hell is going on here, man?
Why are they doing me like this? So we got an offlaner who's swapping to Roamer Clockwork now, and offlane Nyx. Pig is playing offlane.
Yeah. Pig was the Shadow Shaman, Chocobo was the Abaddon, and Zycon was the Sand King.
What the heck? What a swap. Oh, Nyx has got to be real careful right now. This is a very dangerous duo of heroes to do this creep cutting against.
Here comes a stun, followed up with the roots. The creeps aren't even aggro to him. So maybe that actually helps him a little bit because he doesn't take that extra creep damage.
He's dead.
Another Chaos Bolt's coming in. Gotta Carapace that. And he will... A couple more right clicks. Oracle doesn't have much right click damage, but another nuke coming in. A couple right clicks. This is a testament to how tanky Nyx is, but he's not invulnerable.
Yeah, that is a... You know what I would do if I wanted to cut against these two heroes? I would either be like, all right, Clock, you're cutting with me, or I would go to the tier 3 or tier 2. Because these heroes, good God, can they disable you? And if those creeps were hitting him too, he would have been taking even more damage. He wouldn't even look so tanky. And he has Carapace first now. They could actually punish this heavily, although CK's got to use his Clarity. He's got a Clarity up.
Meantime, SF not really getting as much CS as you would perhaps like off of that first wave, but still this is going to be a situation where he's able to get the Cog souls and then not die immediately after, which is always fantastic. You keep those souls preserved and just try to bridge the gap. Once you get 2 points in Shadow Rays, then souls doesn't really become a huge issue anymore. And it doesn't seem like there's much pressure that can be applied here from CU. Oracle's kind of stuck in this bottom lane, and Phoenix is just like a gigantic trash can that can't really do anything early on, so not much pressure on the UC Davis side.
Oh, he's mid. Yeah,
and he has level 1 Sunray. What the hell can he do with that?
He can put some sun in people's eyes, I guess. Oh.
Yeah, that damage, that's like 80 damage right there.
This hero, his skills are just, the numbers on them are just so low at level 1, honestly. Like, oh, nice D ward though. That's a nice D ward. That is an important ward to have because SF obviously needs all the protection in the world on this middle lane. So that'll help out. That's for sure. Omni kind of getting dumped on top lane.
But
As expected.
It's a very similar situation to what we saw in game 1. We said like what should have happened. Nyx Assassin, like if he had another hero here, I don't think this lane would look any different. In fact, he's actually putting up a fight up against the CK and the Oracle lanes. A nice 2-man Impale with the creeps attacking as well. He will, I think, win that damage trade. Okay, maybe he just made me eat my words, but with Witch Doctor doing the pull-in action, we got the Clockwork harassing the Omni Knight. UC Davis are keeping the Omni Knight at bay and not really sacrificing anything because this Nyx Assassin is actually running over this bottom lane. He's level 3 at this stage. And with so much armor and the Spike Carapace and a Stout Shield, like, this dude's really, really difficult to kill. But Extra Thick is not very difficult to kill. They'll throw the cast, tag him with the Battery Assault, and leash him up 70, 80, 90 damage. Plasma Fields, not quite a finishing blow. Battery Assault, pretty good. But that's an Omni Knight kill. Really easy.
Yeah, no, I like this. I think it's exactly what you said. I think if these heroes are on the bottom lane with this Nyx Assassin, it doesn't do much more than he's already doing right now, which is putting up a hell of a fight and just kind of taking all the harass that he can, not dying, trying to do as much damage as he can, not necessarily going for any kills, but he's still getting a lot of XP. He doesn't have a lot of net worth, but he's getting a lot of XP. So I think putting another hero with him, he wouldn't get any kills. He would just be doing the same thing. So what's the point, you know? Supports should just go where they're going to be the most effective for their own game in this scenario, and I think top is definitely that lane. Making it so that Razor is not just dealing with the Omni Knight, but that he's killing him. So the Razor's going to be a big problem. Omni's going to be not an issue at all. As opposed to last game where Abaddon still had something, you know?
This is kind of the downside. This is the downside of picking up a Phoenix, is that if Daprosaurus was playing literal any other 4-position hero, like they could actually make an attempt on Shadow Fiend's life right now. But because he's a bird, like you just can't do anything. An Earth Spirit, I'm pretty sure, would have gotten that Shadow Fiend kill. A Night Stalker definitely would have being 4 minutes in, but
he's kind of like one of those seagulls right now that you're eating like a sandwich and the seagull won't just stop getting closer and closer to you, but the moment you like move towards it, it just flies off and then comes back in a little bit later to try to get some of your food, you know?
I do not know. My brother got 2 churros taken from him by seagulls though. Two separate occasions.
How big are these seagulls?
They were like Disney seagulls, so they're pretty abusive. Extra Thick is gonna get trapped in the cogs, and he'll lose all the damage to the Razor. And the Witch Doctor comes in for that insane paralyzing cast. And bottom lane, oh my God, Phoenix is doing something. The seagull strikes and kills off the bug because
he got the
birds eat
bread.
bugs.
He came, he swooped in and took the churro.
Yeah. It was all an elaborate storyline that we were setting up.
Exactly. Well, this bird is getting something.
Oh, but Halu in the mid lane took a couple raises, and now he's gonna get walled up by the Clockwork. We're just gonna steal the kill from the SF. Support tax, man. Support tax.
But that is a level 4 OD versus an almost halfway to level 7 Shadow Fiend. That's the issue with sitting this bird on the middle lane, is that the bird wasn't getting any bread, but he was stealing the XP of the otherworldly demon thing. I don't even know what to call him.
He's got wings. He's a bird too.
He's another bird. Couple of birds. Trying to steal some bread. Not getting much though. Yeah, SF is so good against the OD because OD likes to walk up to imprison. You can just double raise him by the time he imprisons you, and then the triple raise, if he's not careful, he'll get hit by that last one as he's running away, you know.
And at this point, there's 62 plus 62 damage on the Shadow Fiend and just 62 damage on the OD. So good luck last hitting. Extra thick. Ooh, we'll slip out of those cogs. Repel. Oh, he's actually still leashed up here and does drop a purification on himself. But Lucky 57 is going to push for this kill and will grab it. Chugs the south. Will immediately get dispelled by that Sunray, but that's about all Dappersaurus can actually do with that. Do dive for the Omni Knight, get the kill very easily. Davis starting to pick up steam in this game as Razor's on top of the net worths. Shadow Fiend's not too far behind, and DK, even his lane is being, maybe not like contested, but this Nyx Assassin is getting a lot. He's almost level 6.
Yeah, Nyx is higher level than the CK, which is something that you absolutely do not want in an offlaner versus carry scenario. There's just not much that they can do to kill the Nyx because of the Carapace and because of the stun to follow up, the Impale. Especially alone. Although the CK is doing a good job of keeping him at bay with the Reality Rift. I almost feel like soloing the CK against him at this point. Just roaming the Oracle is probably pretty good. Although pulling is decent as well. OD is getting dove mid. That's a dead OD.
He's going to imprison himself, but there's going to be a Shadow Raise with his name on it when he comes out. Before the Oracle can do anything, he just now picks up Edict, so he didn't even have it. Dappersaurus is walled off by his own creeps. Betrayal most foul. And the Shadow Fiend will swoop right in, grab the kill. And the Oracle TP'd in. He can't really do anything. The only save tool he really has is this Face Edict, and he didn't even have it when he teleported in, so not really the greatest in reinforcing. But even after all is said and done, the Oracle is still doing better than the Omni Knight, who apparently is on the bottom of the net worth chart.
Yeah, not an easy game for him. He does not even have boots. He hasn't used much of his regen. Let's see. Last hits. He has literally 0. Oh, no.
Feels bad, man.
That's not good. See, the issue with this hero... This is honestly... I like what UC Davis has done to this Omni Knight, because you can, so why not, you know?
There's not much and now they're going to go again. The one chance he has of getting some last hits, getting some experience, and he dies before a single creep dies to the tower. And now they run forward and capture Dappersaurus. Look at the damage from that Razor. 2 shots up against a base 0 armor hero. Just absolutely destroys that Phoenix. Over in the bottom lane, in the meantime, Pig is going to Vendetta the Oracle in the face.
Wow.
And then escape the... Did he just cancel that Reality Rift? It looks like it. I don't think he would have gotten that kill anyway, but that's 3 kills around the map for UC Davis. And things ain't looking good if you're CU.
Yeah, this is looking a lot like the last game. Let's see. I'm gonna look at Dappersaurus's profile. Does he have any Phoenix stuff in there?
He's got a pretty sweet cosmetic on right now. I don't know
he does have sweet
common
cosmetics.
or rare this is, but I don't think this is like Dappersaurus playing poorly. It's just Dappersaurus is playing a Phoenix. That's just how it goes. You just don't do anything, and they're gonna go for his icon in the bottom lane. Fortune's ain't gonna stall him up, but a nice 2-mana Impale to give him a little bit of space. Reality Rift forward, but the heals from the Witch Doctor, and now the cast with the tower shooting in as well. He will go down. No, the heal still keeps him alive up against the Sunray, and the Chaos Knight cannot go any further. The Nyx Assassin does have mana enough for 1 more Impale if he really wants to cast it. Looks like he is going to opt out of that, but that is 3v2. Unable to get anything, losing the damage trait, and now here comes the Shadow Fiend to clean up. Oh, don't go up that hill, Oracle. Hey, he didn't go up that hill. He actually listened to me. That was kind of surprising, but he's still going to get chased down because of the drill on the SF. 1 more raise. Oh, well, 1 will be dodged. And it looks like the Oracle might actually make it out. So that's what happens when you listen to the caster. You survive, but WikiP, he did not listen to me. He went in, and he's going to go down. I don't know how the Clockwork is getting all of these kills. He's 3-0-5, but still, this is going to be a 0-kill gameplay here from CU, and they do lose their CK.
Yeah, that is bit of miscommunication going on the side of Colorado, because Oracle, the jukes and the jives, they were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Like you said, he listened to you. The CK did not, and he went in. The Oracle didn't look like he wanted to go. The CK looked like, okay, guys, I want to fight this. But there was just, I mean, everybody was there. It was just a really ballsy fight to be taking. I guess a bit of a misread of the kind of situation on the map, you know. Like, I think when the moment SF is there, you don't want to take that fight, especially because you lose that fight, and they lose this tower because there's a siege creep here. There's not really that great sieging heroes on UC Davis, but with the siege creeps, it doesn't really matter, you know? That Lucky 57 is just laning against Omni and CK top, doesn't even care.
And the Omni Knight is 4 last hits, so he's been making some fantastic strides. His net worth is actually above the Phoenix at this
Oh,
point.
he doesn't even have boots yet against Razor. Imagine how frustrating that must be.
Up
It's
against
that
FaZe Drums Razor.
it's that new 500 gold cost, man. It's so hard to get to those boots sometimes as an offlaner now.
Just like how it used to be, man. How it used to be.
Life.
And bottom lane tower was picked off. Nyx Assassin and Witch Doctor, obviously the 2 best pushers in Dota. They will find the Clockwork in the middle of nowhere here. Pretty nice crit. Chocobo gonna try to dig himself out. Howlu can't get close enough though. Even if he could, he can't really do much to help out here. It's only a 3 points in the offensive abilities, so he couldn't really do much even if he was in place.
Nice Phoenix.
Right there, and they will start roasting Lucky 57 with the Chaos Bolt. They'll purify him and get a big kill.
That's huge. I want to see the gold swing for that.
But on bottom line, they're gonna lose an Oracle.
964 gold and 1,200 experience at 12 minutes for that kill. Some baits. Baited, they say.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice kill and all. You need like 4 more of those if you're gonna bring this game back to parity. So, time to get cracking.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how they get 4 more of those.
think
Purification is a good tool, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be that consistent.
they need to kill the SF too. The SF is really the big issue right now. The Razor's level 9, which is pretty hefty when you're considering the enemy team's levels. But the SF is level 12 and almost 13. Has a Yule Scepter picked up now. Has a Drum of Endurance. Going for the travels. This is going to be one speedy boy soon, especially because he's almost level 15. And good God, is he going to be unkillable? Look at this 436 movement speed right now with a Yule Scepter to set up that Requiem. Nice hook.
Bottom lane onto the Oracle. He doesn't even have the Edict for himself. He's gonna get nailed to the floor, and oh, the cogs go up. Trapping the CK in with the Death Ward. That's a Thunderdome you don't want to be in. And he's gonna go down. Phoenix can throw in some Fire Spirits to do about nothing.
Where's this tome at for the side of Colorado? So I can't tell. Is it purchased? They haven't purchased it, right?
It's bugged. You can't actually tell with
You can't
boards.
see it?
You used to be able to. You can't do it anymore. They'll lose extra thick. Oh, Dapper Sword's teleported into this.
Whoa,
the Razor's attack animation is messed up beyond belief, but they still get the kill. And over in the mid lane, they will burn down the OD on top of it. This is game 1, part 2. It seems the stomping continues.
More of a stomp than the last one, I think. Boy, I really feel like they should give this tomb to the sorry, keep mispronouncing that, to the Phoenix, it's just so they can try to get off an egg fight. And now, God, that is a cask bouncing around.
Oh, into a Requiem. I have yet to see that combo. Cask permastun on 2 into Requiem. Dude, Yule Scepter is overrated. You don't need to use it. You don't need it.
Dude. It's just for the movement speed to get on top of the cask.
Well, that's a morale victory right there. That GG.
Kill the Omni one last time. Are they canceling? Oh, they no. Well,
I don't blame him. I mean, this game was like slightly shorter than the last game, but the pace was just as fast.
15k gold net worth lead at 14 minutes. They beat their